Here's the truth. The email that sells a $100 course will never successfully sell a $5,000 coaching program. Let me tell you about a client that I had. They were going absolutely gangbusters, promoting to their email list an online course, right? Like a 20% from email to buy rate, which is unheard of. That's the click-through rate to buy. That is insane. And yet to the same audience, when they switched gears and they said, let's go a little bit more expensive, let's go for a group coaching program, suddenly it was basically crickets. No one was getting involved. And they thought maybe it's the offer, maybe it's they don't want coaching, maybe it's too expensive. And that's not true. They were still using the same 12-line short emails that were good enough to get people to click to the next page. But when it's thousands of dollars instead of $100, you have to do something different. People aren't ready to buy yet. 100 words isn't going to convince you to give a random stranger $5,000. So you need something that's longer, right? So I want to take you back to my college dorm room. There's this movie called The Interview. And The Interview was supposedly so offensive to the North Koreans that Sony decided not to publish it. Which of course only made a bunch of college kids want to watch it more. So we bootlegged it, we watched it. It was a very funny movie about an interview, a journalist who finally gets the chance to go interview Kim Jong-un. It's going to be like this huge career-changing move. What journalist wouldn't want to go interview the leader of this country that people normally don't get to talk to? And this reporter comes out in front of a group of North Koreans and very clumsily says, Americans and Koreans are the same, but different. And as clumsy as it is, it's now a meme because there's something true about it. And so that reminds me of where we're at now. We have short emails and long emails. They're going to follow the same 3-act structure. They're going to follow the same hook, story, offer, problem, agitate, solve, praise, picture, push, before, after, bridge. So why would we do that? What is it actually accomplishing? It's telling the same stories. It has the same schemes and tropes, the same emotional hooks. How exactly is this working? What's the point of adding in all of this extra text? So yesterday, I tried to share something from Alex Catoni. She likes long emails. And I even was like, look, this one's short for her. And it was still kind of a long email, right? And that's because she builds up connections with people, right? She likes to talk about herself and her business and her, what her writing community is like. She's going to say, all right, so you could follow her on Instagram. You could follow her on YouTube. This is all just her first one. Like, hey, we're not a cult. This is her welcome email. Hey, we're not a cult. I like to swear in my emails. I hope that's cool with you. If not, get lost. Follow me on Instagram and YouTube. Here's all this stuff. Maybe you want to sign up for a program. Here we go. There's so many different things you can do. But what is that doing, right? In the immortal words of Kevin from The Office, why use more word when less word do trick? In order to answer that, we're going to ask ourselves, how we're going to make people betray their country, right? Maybe not a typical goal, but this is from an FBI agent who's getting people to inform on their own country for the United States government. What does he have to say about getting people to like and trust you? Well, there's 4 things. By the way, this book is in my top 5 or 10 for the course. It's not a copywriting book. It's just a human psychology book, but that is very important. But here's one of the big takeaways from the book, which is the 4 building blocks of friendship. We have proximity. You need to be around. You need to be close. Like literally, he'd just be like, I'd be at the same coffee shop as this person for a while. I wouldn't ever even talk to them. They just know I'm around, and then I'm not going to hurt them and arrest them or whatever right away. And then eventually I walk up to them and I'm like, hey, just to let you know, I'm with the FBI. And they're like, I know. You've been around for a while, but you haven't done anything. All right, what's up? Crazy. Just being around and not being threatening. Interesting. So there's proximity. Frequency. You need to show up often, but in the right places. You need to be there when your audience wants you there. You don't want to show up at his door. That's going to be creepy. Or, walking behind him after he gets off work. No. You don't want to do that. You want to show up at the coffee shop where he's like, all right, I'm in public. I'm comfortable with someone else being here. It's fine. Nothing's going to happen. All right. Duration. You need to build up trust over time. You can't just do it all at once, right? If you're going to have a friend help you bury a body, hopefully that's not the situation you're in. But if you're in that situation, I don't care how good of a time you had with a guy at the bar last week. It's not that guy. It's the guy you've known for 10 years, right? Because duration is important. You start small and you stick around. You have a lot of good experiences that build up. A lot of trust builds up. That's the importance of the duration. And then finally, the intensity, which creates memorable moments and deepens your relationship with the other person, right? So those are the 4 concepts that you need. It's absolute gold for marketing. You should be employing this with your subscribers. Make sure that you balance those things. But there is a problem, which is that these people aren't actually your friends. You know, you're not in person. It's very easy to get distracted, or you have something that in marketing, we call it cost to acquire a customer. So let's say you spend, like for me, I've spent like 6 months plus on this course, putting it together, filming it. I have to find a time in my day when I have like 3 or 4 hours to record. I've started splitting it up into 2-hour chunks and having to do the lecture and then the practice. So I've invested a lot into this. Even if I haven't put in a ton of money, I've invested a ton of hours. And so you might say at this point, like, all right, well, let's say I get 12 subscribers from this. How long am I willing to go before I sell to these people? Which is it's not going to be true. I'm going to get more subscribers than that. Probably. But all that to say, sometimes the duration can be hard, right? You don't have, with your cost to acquire customers, sometimes you have your day 1 CAC, and sometimes you have your day 30, day 90, day 180 CAC. How long are you willing to go before you turn a profit on something, right? And people get distracted. You know, maybe they're interested in backpacks one day, and 3 months from now, they're going to be all in on sourdough starters. So you can't wait that long before you pitch them on something. So that's where duration is something that you want to do with people, but it can be a challenge. You know, people are going to go through their ebbs and flows, and you need to catch them when you can. So if that's the case, and duration is one that's a little bit more difficult to do, then you're going to have to double down on proximity, frequency, and intensity. And you can do that with long emails. So we know now that we have to. How are we going to do it though, right? How are we actually going to turn a 12-line email that's saying the same things with the same schemes and tropes, the same hooks? How do we make it longer? So I'm going to show you how to do that today. We're going to learn how to write emails that keep people reading. We're going to learn how to, number 1, create open loops that keep your audience captive and curious, even in the longest of emails. The 12 questions you should ask yourself when you think you've said everything there is to say, a warning, and a guideline. Writing long emails is hard, and it's super easy to lose focus, to get distracted, go over here, talk about 20 different things instead of keeping your eyes on the prize and focusing on one thing. So this is the one and only thing you need to stay on script. All right, so here's those questions. And I'm just gonna go away because I already got to pivot to social proof without my video. Hey, what's up? I finally realized my camera wasn't on for this, so I went back and recorded it, but I'm gonna leave 1 through 6, and we're gonna jump back in at 7 with my hopefully visual appearance. Oh, there I am. Can I pivot to something someone said about me or about whatever? All right, I'm gonna jump into 8. Can I pivot to a way that this changed or my outlook or life, right? So let's go back. No, let's go back and we say, I wasn't just trying to disrupt an industry. I was trying to keep small businesses afloat, right? I was trying to give people an edge over the big guy. I wanted these mom and pop shops, these artisanal companies, to be able to give an unmatched experience to their buyers. I know that's what I'm checking in every day to do. We're working hard to expand our capabilities to bring this to other people. And we've now doubled our output capacity. So whether your business is growing or maybe you want to try this for the first time, we only have so many spots available, but obviously the people who've done it so far have been absolutely thrilled. Click below and, sign a 6-month agreement for us to be your primary provider. Wow, that works. How many more lines did we just add? A ton. Can I pivot to highlight a benefit or resolve pain point? Yeah, I'm kind of weaving all these together, but you may realize I talked about how I felt about it, and I didn't go into how it made my customers feel, how it made their lives better, right? So after the social proof, I could say, X said this, Y said this, Z said this, and that's all because we went at it a different way. We finally decided to do it this other way with this different technology. We asked, why are we still shipping things on wheels? There's the whole ground infrastructure system is absolutely chaotic. I remember watching the Jetsons when I was a kid. Now I've pivoted back to an example or an analogy. I remember watching the Jetsons as a kid. I thought we'd have flying cars by now. We don't. Why? well, because air crashes are horrible, we probably don't want that many people in the sky. But that doesn't mean delivery drones can't go up there. Why aren't we doing more delivery drones? We could be revolutionizing all this, and we can get all of the Amazon and USPS vehicles off the street, actually freeing us up and giving small businesses a shot to provide better experiences, right? Sure, that's what we're doing now. So that works for the drone delivery, right? Can I pivot to a highlight benefit? Yeah, I just did that. And then I pivoted back into an analogy. Can I pivot to my thought process on this? Of course I can. I can say, oh, we started doing this because of this. And again, it all wove together because I said it was the Jetsons. It gave me this idea. So we decided that we could do it with this. It would solve these problems in the world. So yeah, that's my thought process on it. Can I pivot to a bad outcome if action isn't taken? Sure. We go to the end of the email and say, we can add in a little bit of pressure and say, I only have so many spots here, right? I've, invested everything I have to double our capacity, which means I only have 30 more people that I can take on for delivery in the city of New York, right? I need you to sign up now, because if you don't, it's missing the Mayflower. The Puritans that got left behind, their story is totally different. They were squashed. They didn't get to experience that freedom. Europe has become a significantly more atheistic place over time. They no longer have really any influence on their governments. They haven't become a beacon of hope and freedom to the world. But the ones that took the risk, they had that impact. They were able, just 100 people. And many, many of them died right away. But the people who made it, the people who succeeded, were part of something bigger than any of us can ever really understand. They were part of a transformation that made not just their lives, not just Maryland's lives, where's Plymouth, Massachusetts, not just Massachusetts better, not just the United States better, and not even just the Western Hemisphere, but the whole damn world is better because 100 Puritans took a risk. And I'm not asking you to cross an ocean in a rickety boat. I'm asking you to commit to the next 6 months. The next 6 months are going to be such an expansive part of your business. You're going to triple, quadruple, quintuple your business, just like all the other people I've worked with. Your satisfaction is going to go through the roof. And it's really, because of that, it's not a leap of faith, but I understand it's still a leap of faith. You have to burn some of your connections with existing vendors. I understand that. But this is the best time. You're going to go from one community to a new community of people who are absolutely thrilled with the experience they're having. Sign up today while positions last, right? Okay, so I went a little bit more on the hope side than the fear thing. But yeah, there's a bad outcome. You could be one of those people who don't have anything happen in Europe, right? You can be one of those people who don't have something happen in Europe, right? You can be one of those businesses that don't see the growth, who just keep having your packages damaged, your stuff returned. You're going to keep losing customers because your product isn't very fresh. Or you can embrace the 21st century and grow your business 4x like some of our customers, right? Can I highlight their fears or worst case scenario? Yeah. I have seen in New York dozens of business shutter in the last 2 months. This is an epidemic. And so many small businesses are on the chopping block. And it's because they aren't adapting. You either adapt or you die. And if you don't adapt, you're going eventually, I'm not saying it's going to happen in 2 months. It could be 2 years, but you will die. Your business will close. You need to adapt. And the people who have already adapted to this are seeing amazing results, right? So yeah, we can pivot to any of those things. Those are great ways to add in more stuff to the same piece of content. And one thing you need to keep in mind, you think like, oh, this is an insane thing. No, it's before we were getting people to stick around for 12 lines. But realistically, if you get them to read 150 words, they will stick around for thousands. If you're getting people to read 12 lines, like the whole 12 lines, they're going to read the whole thing, most of them. And so you're not going to notice that big of a difference on people who are bouncing from your emails, right? You just need them to stick around for 150. So you need to keep that in mind. And how do you do that is that you create open loops. Before, in 12 lines, it's all one consistent story. There's no deviations. You don't say, wait, where are we at? What you do is create an open loop. Maybe you say, I'm going to reveal the 5 things to you. Here's things 1, 2, 3, 4. And you know what? My favorite one is going to come at the end. Well, that's an example. That's an open loop. That's just a simple number, right? You could pivot and say, you need to grow your business, which is why you need a new way of delivering things. But we're going to talk about that later. Right now, I've got pilgrims on my mind. What did the pilgrims do that was so awesome? We can go through the whole story. And yet the thing that's unresolved is like, wait, well, why do I need a new delivery system? What's even good about a new delivery system? Are there good ones out there? And finally, we get to the end of the story and you realize that it converges together and you go, actually, you need to take a risk. You need to embrace new technology. You have to be willing to go out there a little bit. And, autonomous drone delivery is the way to do it. And there's 5 reasons why. So we've resolved one open loop. All right, so now I understand what you're proposing. And now instantly, now I could go away. I get the answer and you say, actually, there's 5 reasons why. Oh no, I'm stuck in another open loop. I have to know what those 5 things are, right? So when you open a loop, people need to see it close. One thing you can do as well is you can say, I'll reveal that on the next page. If your email, you're trying to get them to go to a landing page, you can say, that's exactly what we're going to talk about in today's video. Click through and watch, right? That's an open loop that you open at the very end of your message and don't resolve specifically so that they have to go to the next, instead of reading the next line, they watch the next video, right? So what are some of the types of open loops? We've got the project loop, which is like, watch my playlist, complete my 5-day mini course, which is like, you're not done until whatever this thing is done, right? College is a project loop. It doesn't have to be a 5-day mini course. It's like, hey, I've got to get my bachelor's degree. If I was just picking these classes, I would not finish all these classes. But I know I don't get that piece of paper until I've done all 4 years and paid you $60,000, damn it. So I guess I'm here because I'm already halfway in and I can't give up. That's a project loop, man. Why would I have invested all this time and not actually get the piece of paper? I guess I'm doing this thing, huh? All right, a story loop, right? You think about the theme of your story. I think about Good Mythical Morning's Will It Taco. It's like, what's the best thing? All right, we're going to do this. All right, and at the end of today's episode, we're going to reveal the best thing that tacoed. And here's item number 1. And you're just like, well, what is it? Jeff Nippert, he does this in his videos. They're lifting videos, right? And he goes, we're going to do this ranking system of all the best bicep exercises. And at the very end, we're going to reveal which one I think is the best one for people who have a full gym and the best one for people who just have, like a home gym and a couple of weights laying around. Oh, and then he's going to go through like 30 exercises, but you need that information at the end. You need to resolve that story. Can I make a decent backpacking kit for under 6 pounds? All right, so let's go into my book and see. So you ask that question. It's like, you won't know until the end. That's the conclusion. That's a great way to do it. A segmented loop, it's a single subplot of your story. It's like, all right, well, placenta taco sounds gross, but I don't know, maybe they'll enjoy it. So it's a subplot, right? Is a 6-ounce backpack going to cut it? Is that too light? Is that going to get ripped to shreds? I don't know. That's part of the review. But if we're trying to get under 6 pounds, we've got to be doing some crazy stuff, right? All right, the moment loop, the theme of your story. So it's like, we've got... The moment loop is when you pull your audience into the action. You're making them interact before they get the payoff. So it's like, before I reveal this, go ahead and put in the comments, how did I sleep? How do you think I slept on my... So before you reveal how you like a certain like sleeping pad, you go, all right, so I like this, I did this. All right, so I woke up this morning. You tell me. Go ahead and put in the comment sections. I'm going to reveal my thoughts on this in just a moment, but put in the comment section. Let me know if you think I slept the best I've ever had in the field. If it was so, like I want you to place your bets, right? All right, now that it's been 20 or 30 seconds and you're itching to know what it is, you're probably screaming at your phone. You're like, oh my God, just tell me anyways. When you do that, like, oh, just tell me. You don't realize you're in. This is a boring part of the video and they've kept you in. That's the moment loop. It's How's this taco? How's the placenta taco? Right? You have all these emotions in it. They haven't given their definitive answer yet, and yet you're getting something the whole time. You're like, and they're kind of going through a journey. You're like, wait, what is the answer? Tell me the answer. That's the moment loop. And finally, you give them a resolution, then you take it away. Like I did just a moment ago when we were talking about the open loop back here, right? You say, oh yeah, we tell this whole long story, and you need autonomous drone delivery. We resolve one. Oh, it's almost done. And here are the 5 reasons why. And why your business is going to close if you don't adapt. Okay, now we have a negative one. All right, we got to keep going. Cool. That's how open loops work. But, and this is a big but the key is to keep your audience under constant tension, right? That's what I was talking about. When you resolve one open loop, you got to put another open loop on them. Whether it's a long video or an email or a landing page, you should always have multiple open loops going. It's better if you don't even like resolve one and then start a new one up. If you can have one going and start one back here, and then that one resolves there and this one resolves here, and they're all overlapping, right? That's perfect. If you think of a great TV show, have you ever noticed that they have multiple storylines going at the same time, and they're all staggered, and they don't resolve until the end of the episode? But even then, sometimes they don't resolve at the end of the episode because they want you to watch the next episode or the next season or whatever it is. It's cliffhangers on cliffhangers on cliffhangers. I think about this all the time. I really like Mythbusters, and Mythbusters, that's clearly what they're doing. They've got 2 teams, and you're going through, you're like, doom, doom. Will we be able to build a bridge from duct tape? Jamie and Adam find out now. Doom, doom, doom. Are Tori and Carrie going to be able to do mind control with these things they found online? Doom, doom. Right? They're just going between their different experiments. And as you're going through, you're like, here's the problem I'm having with the duct tape. I'm doing this. All right, that's a story loop. It's not working very well. All right. Oh, man, that didn't support my weight. But what if I add this thing? I'm going to head back to the shop. Cut. We go to Tori and Carrie and Grant, right? Now they're working on this. I don't even believe in this. So we've got Tori's like, this is absolute nonsense. Grant's like, this is absolute nonsense. And Carrie's like, I don't know, I'm open to it. And you're like, all right, so we have this natural tension between these 3 people. Who's going to be right? That's an open loop. We've got some tension between the characters. They're joking around. All right. We actually try this device. It does not work on 4 people. And you're like, actually, dude, there's an anomaly on number 5. It could be wrong, but it could actually be something. Doom, doom. We go back to Adam and Jamie, right? So you go back and forth. You have so many open loops going at the same time. That's the goal. And you go, I was so involved in this mind reading thing. I forgot that we're building a bridge out of duct tape. Wait, what's the thing? And so you snap back and forth. You don't lose focus between these different storylines. That's the goal. They're trying to keep you engaged. They're trying to have these open loops constantly open. They pick their host very intentionally, so there's always points of tension. They're encouraging them to behave this way on camera, to be like, all right, kind of taking extreme. Don't be so like, I don't know, it may work, it may not work. Like Tori and Grant, you got to be on one side, Carrie, you got to be on the other. Jamie and Adam, like they actually pitched the show, and they were like, we weren't even planning on being the host of the show, but we realized that we went into this natural like straight man versus funny man. And it's like the perfect comedic duo, and now we're doing the show, and we did it for 15 years, and we can't get out of it. Oops. And we don't even like each other that much, but like the tension is so good on camera, and it plays so well. Just keep playing that up. Keep being those characters. Keep providing that tension. Keep saying like, I believe this, and I believe this. Wait, who's going to be right? It's another open loop that's unresolved. It's so effective. If you can find a way to do that in your marketing, in your long emails, in your long landing pages, in your YouTube videos. Maybe you're putting out giant documentaries on cryptocurrency, and then you're going to talk about buying your newest meme coin or, your crypto trading course or whatever on the other side. Do that in your YouTube videos. And then you can do these, people are already familiar with their brand and everything. Then you can do these long emails to people and get them to buy. It doesn't matter how expensive it is. They're going to be invested because they're going to have frequency, duration, intensity, and proximity with you, right? So we talked about some of the different types of open loops. How do we actually how do we actually open loops? You've seen me do it a bunch, but here are 12 different things you can do. You can make a big promise. All right, at the end of the episode, we're going to do this. We're going to make a bold claim this is actually the worst thing ever, right? Oh, or mind control is actually possible. Ask a thought-provoking question. That's what Mythbusters does, man. Can we do this? I don't know. Can we? I have to know. Please tell me. Please tell me. And stay on for 15 years. Hooks. All right. What's a good hook, right? Other than the things we just talked about. A hook is just going to be like, here's the truth. Here's what you're wrong about. Right? That's myth busting. Literal myth busting, not the show Mythbusters. That's cool. You know, that pulls you in. You're like, oh, wait, what is this? You can tell a story. You know, the Pilgrims came across and did this. Right? Because you're like, what happened to the Pilgrim? I have this character that I care about how things resolve for them. You give your story subplots. You ask open-ended questions. How do you feel about this? What do you think will happen? Did I get the best sleep ever? Will it, Taco? You pause for dramatic effect. All right, so here's what's happening. I did this. I put all this together. I slept on it last night. And I want to tell you, it was actually the best sleep I've ever had. And that tension, you're like, oh, I have to know. Just say it. Just say it. Oh, I'm reeling you in. You didn't know. You needed to know. You have cliffhangers, right, at the end of the episode. Are Ross and Rachel going to get together? The listicle, right? 5 things that we need to do. You say, let me be clear. But I'm actually going to tell you later, right? Let me be clear. Let me tell you the truth. Let me be honest about something. I never believed it was possible, but this, like, you're instantly like, wait, what is this about? It's like an insta loop. Instantly, we know that we're getting some sort of important information. And finally, but wait, there's more, you know? It's the problem, agitate, solve, outcome, problem again. You go, oh man, like actually it's the autonomous drone delivery, but here are the 5 reasons why you need it. If you don't do it, it's this. Oh no, there's another open loop, and we're back to it, just instantly creating a new problem. We've got more open loops. The surprising truth is, the thing that finally helped me achieve this is that there's this one time that I did this thing that's opening up a story. This one is the soap opera sequence that we talked a little bit yesterday, which is and by the way, tomorrow we're going to be working on that, right? That's the cliffhanger at the end of the episode. That's the soap opera sequence in your emails. That's, next time on Friends, whatever it might be. And you say, we're going to have the bicep thing. I've actually been doing this whole series. I'm Jeff Nippert in this case. We're going through 30 of the most popular exercises. We're going to tell you which one's the best one. This is all part of a series. And actually later this week, I'm planning on doing one on triceps, but we're going to talk about that later. It's just so brief, but you're like, oh man, I got to keep an eye out for that tricep video. That's a nice little open loop between videos. You can obscure a step. You can say like, and I'm actually going to say, here's my 5 things. I'm going to save the biggest and most important one for last. All right, so number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and then the most important one. So we just kind of pull it out. We hide it a little bit, right? Or if it's an ad or something you like, and the number one most important thing I'm going to be revealing is actually in my free course that you're going to find on the next page. And then you have to you do have to put in your email to see the free course. But then you're like, oh man, I have to know what the number one most important thing is, because numbers 2 through 5 were so good that I have to imagine number 1 is that good. So yes, I'm willing to give you my email for that, right? And then but it's just one of those big things. It's so good. It's taking it away. It's a single word. You say, this is my favorite bicep exercise, but what's the but? I have to know. I have to know now. But I was thinking that it would do for this person, it wouldn't do this. So I also am I'm looking out for people who don't have all the gym equipment. Maybe you're working out at home. Maybe you're just getting into fitness. What's going to be the right exercise for you? All right. I didn't know what to do. It's just opening a story. It works as relatable. We're all like, wait, what if I were in that situation? What if I didn't know what the right bicep thing was? Now we can tell a little bit of a story where it's like, I tried for years on just bicep curl, bicep curl, bicep curl, bicep curl. I'm kipping like crazy. I'm not actually going to the right position. I'm not doing any preacher curls or anything like that. By the way, preacher curls like the best bicep exercise, at least for free weights for sure. So I didn't know what to do. And then you could be like, here's a side quest story. And it can be hard because, like I said, it's really easy to kind of get pulled off in 20 different directions. But you could say, I was doing this bicep thing. You know what? Actually, like, let me tell you about this. I was working on my biceps because there's this girl in the 7th grade that I was really trying to impress. That really opened up my entire fascination with working out, and particularly like my arms, because I had this girl who like swore that I was on steroids, and I realized now that she was just flirting with me, but I was like, no, I'm not on steroids, I'm just an athlete. But I love the attention so much that I was like, man, this is clearly a great way to get women. I'm going to spend 15 years in the gym just to impress guys, right? It's the way it goes, right? And you're going to tell this long story about all the different things. You're like, dude, I was just spinning my wheels for years, and I wasn't eating enough food. I was training till exhaustion without like ever thinking about what I was doing. So I was just wasting a bunch of movement. I wasn't eating the right stuff to build. And I don't want that for you. So I got distracted for a long time. I'm like, but then you have to find a way to pull it back in. That's very important, because it all needs, anytime you go on a side quest, you have to make sure, unlike a role-playing game, you don't want it to be a whole separate storyline. You want it to all peel back into the main story, right? It's difficult to do that in a video game, but if it's D&D, you can make that happen. You can tie it all in. And in an email, you must tie it in. So here's the thing. If you're really, really good at writing emails, you'll routinely hit like 50 to 60, maybe 70% open rates, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, depending on your audience, depending on how good you are at clearing out your email list of people who aren't opening stuff. And that sounds great, right? Like that's a lot of people who are interested in your stuff. But let's flip that around. That's like 30 to 50% of your audience that hasn't even opened your email yet. And most of them never will. It just is what it is. Like, that's why the duration thing is so hard. Let's imagine, all right, you take those 30% out. You don't have 100% open rates now. Only some of those people are still going to be involved, right? So it'll get buried. It'll get ignored. You'll get lost in the cluttered inbox of a bunch of people. And that's why you can't really rely on a bunch of big emails. But you also can't rely on one-off emails. Like, duration has to be there. You can't write one super long email because 50% of the people haven't opened. You have to find a way to get back to some of those people. Maybe you can capture another 25%. Maybe you need to write an email sequence, so it's not like, well, I got 50% of people to open one day and then 50% of people the other day, but it wasn't the same 50%. No, if you can create really powerful sequences that's like, hey, welcome. Here's what things are going to be like. Set up expectations. Really show the value you're going to deliver. So all of those people are ready to open the next one. Right? They're like, okay, I got it. You give them a reason to show up for the next one and the next one and the next one. Well, maybe some of the 50% who didn't open the first time, maybe they'll open the next time. And you'll give them a reason to say. And suddenly, instead of slowly dwindling down, you're actually slowly going up, which is totally the opposite of what most people will tell you that you can do with communications. But it is possible. And it starts with learning how to create a series of messages that open loops into each other so that your reader always wants to come back for more. And each email should pull them into the next. That's the soap opera sequence. And tomorrow, we're going to teach you how to do that. We're going to be talking about email sequences, not just short emails, not just long emails, but whole email sequences that get people to stick around, stay engaged with the brand, and eventually buy something really big outside of your normal stuff, right? So if you want to sell not just $5,000 courses or $2,000 courses. You want to sell $5,000 courses, not $2,000 courses. If you want to do that, if you want to have major clients that are paying you like $10K a month instead of $2K a month, and they came for one PDF or one tip on YouTube, but you really want to get that, just deliver value every day to the point where this guy's a genius. I will never learn how to do this by myself. Great. You need them to stick around for a really long period of time to get that through their head, right? So if you want to sell really big stuff, you have to learn how to write a good email sequence. And we're going to talk about that tomorrow. So the one more thing that I promised you from today before we move on to our stuff is that you need that one thing to stay on script. And we've talked about this before. That is ROIA. It's the rule of one. There can only be one, in fact. There's one reader. There's one idea. There's one offer. And there's one action. We're going to be asking all these questions. We might be going on a side quest. We might be telling random stories and providing testimonials. It's all in support of one reader. What do we mean when we say that? Because obviously we hope our email list is bigger than one. We mean there's one demographic. We're not writing to, if this is a backpacking blog, we don't want to talk to people who are doing backcountry camping and, tactical urban type stuff, and people who are doing search and rescue. Those are totally different applications, except for maybe emails specifically designed to sort people. Those can go to multiple readers. But for everyone else, your email should be to one person, to one type of person, right? It should have one idea. All right, are we talking about backpacks or are we talking about pads today? If we're talking about both, why? Is it because we're talking about lightweight? Are we talking about the sturdiest ones? Or are we talking about the most bang for your buck? Those are all different topics you can cover at different times, but you can only cover one at a time. If you're like, let me just review all the gear in my pack and maybe all my other pack. In fact, just every piece of gear I've ever done or every gear in REI, even those are one idea, right? I'm trying to even break out of it. It's so difficult to be like, let me just go down Amazon and review whatever. It's like, why would I click into that? Maybe I'm interested once I'm there, but it feels distracted at first. It's like, it's too much. I'm not interested. It's not focused enough. One reader, one idea, one offer. So this is why, sometimes this isn't always done because, like I said, you're trying to sort people. So sometimes you say that this email is a sacrifice, right? This is my welcome email. I'm mostly just teaching you what things are like and saying, hey, there's Instagram, there's YouTube. Here's my course. You can get involved in any of those different ways. That's Alex Catoni's thing, right? That's not always advisable, but maybe for that first one, because they really weren't likely to buy anyways, you're just giving them whatever chance to get engaged. Maybe it works for you. I've tested it. I don't think it works that well, but I prefer one offer. And a great way to do that and kind of have the best of both worlds is you can use some sort of quiz or something at the end and get people to naturally sort themselves. But they don't see all the other alternate endings, right? And so you can put them through what feels like one experience, even though you have this branching quiz that actually provides different experiences. So that's a separate thing, but it's great to be like, today I'm talking about the backpack. Here's benefit 1, benefit 2, benefit 3. Here's a story. Here's this, here's that. Here's a testimonial. Here's a, metaphor that it connects with, and you should buy it. Instead of being like, I did all this, all the story and this and this and this, and it's a backpack and it's a sleeping pad and maybe it's, a specific blend of coffee and it's also tires for your Subaru and it's also my favorite butter knife. And you're like, what the heck happened here? I don't want any of that. It's so unfocused. I don't even understand what I'm doing here. That is the last thing you want in an email or in a landing page or in any marketing materials, is to confuse people and be like, wait, what's this muddy morass that I have stumbled into? No, don't do that to people. Finally, it's one action, right? When your offer is confused, you're like, do I click the button? Do I have to go to each individual Amazon or e-com page and buy all this? That's insane. No, you want one action. Click the link below and get my thoughts on this. Click the link below and get the backpack at 20% off. Click the link below and do this. Or maybe we're not even doing that. Maybe there's no action today except I want you to check back at 2 p.m. tomorrow because I am going to release some more information that's absolutely going to revolutionize your life. I'll see you there. That's an action. Even just storing it away in your head is an action, right? So if you want to sell the really big stuff, make sure that you can actually edit your stuff down, keep it focused, and yet make it long. All right. How am I doing on time? All right. Forewarning. This is going to be the long part, right? My presentation hasn't been that long. It hasn't been that long, but it's about to get long because we have 9 long emails to go through. So buckle up, go get some coffee, figure out where the heck your hyperlink button is so that you can open the email. All right, here we go. Brian Moran. Look at that. All right, pretty long, right? Longer sentences, it kind of folds across. It's not going all the way across like that, like it has a narrow column here. So we're going to start out with the story. Hey, it's Brian. Let me take you back to 2010 when I was just starting out in the online business world. We're going to go more into the story. I was hustling like crazy, trying every tactic I could get my hands on, blogging until my fingers ached, churning out social media posts like a madman, spending late nights trying to crack the code on SEO. Those are 3 examples, right? We're telling the story. We could have gone without that. I was hustling like crazy, trying every tactic I could to get my hands on. I even tried to teach myself to code, thinking it would give me an edge. All right, so that made sense, but we added in 3 examples in there that made it longer. Spending late nights trying to crack the code on SEO, I even tried to teach myself to code thinking it would give me an edge. I was working my tail off, convinced that the harder I pushed, the faster I'd succeed. But despite all the blood, sweat, and tears I poured into my business, I was barely scraping by. What happened now? What's the pivot? So we've hook, storied, offer. Then I met my mentor, Paul. He coaches people. You should get it. Does he do that? No. He doubles down. He expands on the story, right? What is it about Paul that's working? What was he doing, right? Then I met my mentor, Paul. Paul was making millions in his online business, but he wasn't running the same hamster wheel I was. In fact, he was doing none of the things I thought were essential. When Paul looked at my business, he told me point blank, Brian, all this busy work is actually holding you back. It was a hard pill to swallow, but Paul showed me that success isn't about doing everything. It's about doing the right things. He taught me to strip away the fluff and focus on the few simple, effective strategies that truly move the needle. Within a year of working with Paul, I had generated. So what's the outcome, right? That's one of the things we can pivot to. Excuse you. What's one of the things we can pivot to? An outcome, right? A bad outcome. What effect it had? Great, so we're pivoting. We didn't just talk about it. We said now, within a year of working with Paul, I generated $1.6 million. The rest, as they say, is history. Now I'm extending a unique opportunity to you. Now it's somehow another offer. It's not just working with Paul that we're hinting out. Now it's the concrete thing. We could have skipped all that in the middle. That was his story, right? Then I met my mentor, Paul. Within a year of working with Paul, I had generated $1.6 million. And now I'm extending a unique opportunity to you, right? I could have just done that, but I have this whole side story here. A chance to work directly with my mentor, Paul, inside your Creator You Accelerator coaching program so he can help you unlock the same potential in your business. Because if you're anything like I was, all the things you're spending your time on right now are likely preventing you from experiencing the amazing results you deserve. All right, so now we're doing a little like painting the picture, right? All the amazing results you deserve. You need someone like Paul to cut through the noise, identify what really matters, and guides you to game-changing success. So now we've pivoted to revealing the, I think it's over here, the benefit or resolve pain point. We're doing that now, right? But Paul doesn't just work with anyone. Oh no, it's a but. Now we've opened another loop, but Paul doesn't work with anyone. I thought for sure anyone was going to be involved, but no, he doesn't work with anyone. He's selective, only taking on people he feels he can truly help, those who have what it takes to succeed. And right now there are only 2 spots remaining to work with him. Unlikely, but it is what it is. Obviously, he can't take on everyone, but if you're ready to stop spinning your wheels and start seeing real results, I invite you to apply to work directly with Paul inside our Creator You Accelerator coaching program. You can apply here. This could be the turning point that changes everything in your business, just like it was for mine. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. To your success, Brian. And what do? We have a PS. PS, remember there are only 2 spots left, and they won't be available for long. If you're ready to trade the hamster wheel for real lasting success, apply now. Your future self will thank you. Cool. Nice long email. Nice long email that did really well at pivoting between different things. All right, let's pick another long email. From Alex Catoni. Hope I'm saying your name right, Alex. Catani. Yeah, here's that intro one I told you about. Now we get to, instead of just seeing it on the side, you get to read it. Yes, David. I'm so happy you joined us and so thrilled to officially welcome you to the Copy Posse. You're one of us now. One of us. That's how I do it. I promise we're not a cult laughy face. Since you're new around here, let me fill you in real quick on what we're about. The Copy Posse is a global crew of copywriters, marketers, and business owners on a mission to de-douchify the internet, refine modern marketing, and make caring cool again. All right, so now we've said what we are. We could say, and if you want to follow along, you want to learn more, go to Instagram and YouTube. You can follow me there. If that sounds cool to you, let's do it. But we don't. We tell another story. Because let's get real. With a crapload of robocopy, generic advice, and overnight offers stinking up the good old internet right now, empathy is your greatest superpower. So now we're doubling down on our explanation. And your words freaking matter more right now than ever before. You, David, have the power to create the life of your dreams, build a lucrative business, and make a serious impact on the life of others. So now we've pivoted to that benefit or resolve pain point. And that's exactly what I'm here to help you do. But before I give you a bunch of epic free shit, I need to tell you something. This community in the emails you'll get from me is about so much more than just copywriting, branding, social media, storytelling, sales, and entrepreneurship. All these things that I want you to know about and are the core part of my business. But there's even more than that. I'm committed to bringing you the best training on the damn internet. Do these swear words feel forced to you? Because they feel forced to me too. Yeah, I know. And I cannot wait to see you all. And I cannot wait for you to see all the goodness waiting for you inside the Posseverse. But the Copy Posse exists to shake shit up, build an empathy empire, and create a movement that redefines the entire industry. And I'm fierce as hell about that. All right. Very good writer. I don't love her tone. It is what it is, right? I just don't talk that way. That's not how I go about things. But she's like, de-douchify. I'm like, it seems kind of douchey, Alex. But you're a great copywriter. That's why I use your examples all the time. All right. After spending nearly a decade, it's one of those like love it or hate it things. Like it's not my vibe. I'm like, I know it doesn't look like it here, but I'm like a wear a collared shirt out all the time kind of person. I'm like a don't swear in public kind of people. It's just like, it's not my vibe, but I'm not her target audience. And yet I still actually stay here because she's really good. But all that aside. After spending nearly a decade working as a freelance copywriter, helping businesses build memorable brands, so now we're pivoting to her personal story. Strategize powerful marketing campaigns and write high converting copy, I finally stepped out from behind the scenes and rallied the Copy Posse from far and wide. In just a few years, we went from 0 to hundreds of thousands of rad humans around the world, all by breaking the traditional rules of old bro marketing. And we're not slowing down anytime soon. So since you're part of the Posse now, it's just like old bro marketing. So it's like clearly appealing to like a more feminine edge than a more masculine edge. But I'm like, girl, this is the same style. This is the same. You're very good at it, but it's the same style. The only thing you're doing is dissing on men at the same time. Good Lord, Alex. Anyways, we're not slowing down anytime soon. Since you're part of the Posse now, I feel there are a few things we need to know about me. In case you want out right now, laughy, laughy, laughy. I tend to curse, especially when I get fired up about stuff. I like to talk a lot and laugh loudly. Don't talk about yourself, Alex. That's copywriting basics. But you're building a brand. I get it. I believe business is supposed to be fun. I have no time for assholes or D-bags. I'm not afraid to speak out about non-marketing issues that I'm passionate about. Yeah, people love that. I can get pretty sassy in my emails. I call it like I see it. And I kind of love to break the rules. There are no rules. Mean girls. Okay, Alex. So, if you're down with that, you're in the right place. If not, you're welcome to unsubscribe now. Still here? I knew I liked you, David. See, it's stuff like that that's so fun. Like I like a lot of the personality in here. The swearing and it's not for me, but it is what it is. Great copywriter. I'm going to keep stressing that, even though I'm going to throw a few polite jabs. But I almost certainly be like, love me or hate me. It's fine. Now, about the epic free shit I promised you. Follow me on Instagram. The gram is my jam. It's my fave social platform. And I love to chat with my posse in the DM. So slide on in there, okay? Every day, I share actionable bite-sized insights, tips, and tools to help you master the world of marketing. Like this post where I broke down Taylor Swift's genius launch strategy. Who knew Tay-Tay could be so polarizing? The comments make me LOL popcorn. All right, so we can look through. Oh, wow. Look, it takes me to Instagram, right? If you're not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, then what are you even doing? YouTube is the best place for far more in-depth training. I talk about things like how to nail your brand voice, how to build an email list, how to write killer social media captions, how to write a sales page, how to build a marketing funnel, how to become a copywriter, even with zero experience. Wow, all topics very interesting to a new subscriber. You can click on any of those and go further down the rabbit hole. What are we doing here? We're building frequency and we're building duration, right? The more you engage with me, the better. And so much more, including interviews with industry experts. If you think that we're a match made in marketing heaven and you want to take it to the next level, then check out my Posse programs. Whether you're a freelancer, an aspiring copywriter, a business owner in the beginning stages of building your online empire, or you've been in the entrepreneurial trenches for years, I've got you covered. All right, David, I think that's enough rambling for one day. And it was a little rambly. It's not very ROIA'd, in my opinion. But we'll chat again real soon. Ciao for now, Alex. Now, my guess is that she has some tracking links built up here Can I see what links you're sending me to? No, I can't. My guess is that she has some different links on these. And when you go to Instagram or YouTube, or you click down here for the Posse programs, she's going to sort you into different lists and be like, this is someone with more buying intent or less buying intent. And then whether you open this or don't open it, you'll get other stuff, right? P.S. And that way, the next one can be a little bit more focused on one thing. So it's a good time to split things out to be a little bit more intentional down the line. All right, we have more. P.S. This email is the first of 3 emails you'll receive as part of my welcome sequence, also called an indoctrination sequence. You can learn how to write your own badass welcome sequence here. P.S. Did I mention that because you stuck around, you'll get lots of rad stuff in your inbox that I don't give out anywhere else? Okay, bye. All right, so what do we do there? We have yet another call to action. You can learn this here. I'm not sure why that one would be different than Instagram or YouTube, but maybe it's just YouTube. Just YouTube. Cool. And then it says, hey, you'll get a bunch of rad stuff. So now we have that on the next time, right? So we're training people to engage with our emails more in the future. That's soap opera sequence. That's a good move, Alex. Good stuff. All right. We have another Alex Catoni one. We have 3 of them in total. Despite me not loving her some of her personal stylings, let's say. Just a good copywriter. Woohoo! David, guess what's happening in 5 short days? That's right, it's my birthday! This year, I plan on having a super chill birthday. One of my besties is coming to visit for a few days. The Hubs is taking me for a yummy date night. Now, if this were me, I would hint at something in those first 5 lines. A whiff 'em, if you will. A what's in it for me. Because right now I'm hearing a story about your birthday. I'm gone. But Alex is probably cultivating people who are interested in her personal brand. It can be his whole strategy. Not what I would do. I would come in and I'd say, like, guess what's happening in 5 short days? That's right, it's my birthday. And this year I want to give back. I have something awesome for you at the end of this email. But first, let me tell you how it all came together, right? One of my besties is coming to visit for a few days for my birthday, blah, 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 blah. All right, so we'll jump back in. The Hubs is taking me on a yummy date night. My girlies are planning a night out at a bougie restaurant. And de-douchify the internet. Girl. All right. And I'm spending the weekend chilling in the sunshine and playing way too much Yahtzee with my fam jam out on an island off the coast of Vancouver. Oh, and of course, in honor of this yearly holiday, LOL, I joke, I've got something up my sleeve for you. Here's what's happening in the Possiverse this month. A special birthday surprise is coming. My favorite way to celebrate my birthday each year is to give you an epic gift. And this year, I'm doing something super special. You'll definitely want to pay attention because this will never be offered again. Posse Fest speaker highlights over the next several months. You'll get not 1, but 2 YouTube videos from me each week. I'm so excited to bring you brand new mini-series of exclusive interviews featuring my epic lineup of Posse Fest speakers. Our first interview will be the incredible Jen Kem, aka the brand strategy queen. She'll be serving up the tough love we all need to hear. Conversions, not converting. You don't have a marketing problem, you have a messaging problem. It's going to be juicy, Posse. And it's coming to a YouTube near you on August 11th. You can expect a new speaker spotlight interview to drop every Sunday until Posse Fest. Want to see who's joining us at the baddest marketing event in 2024? You know what to do. You do. Click here to find out what's coming on YouTube. And of course, we'll continue our business as usual videos and helpful tutorials dropping every Wednesday. Here's what I have lined up for you this month. Click here to watch. Click here is such a bad CTA. Why, Alex? Why? Click here to watch this week's video where I interviewed Dane Walker, CEO of Australia's fastest growing branding agency. You don't want to miss the nuggets he dropped. Next week, I'll be dishing all the tips, tricks, and lessons we've learned after months of split testing our YouTube content so you can write titles and thumbnails that get you more clicks and views. Then you'll learn the surprising reason why I changed my social media strategy. Yep, I changed it up again. Have you noticed? And lastly, I'll share my opinions about starting a faceless brand. Can it work? What are the pros and cons? Should you start a faceless brand? I got the dish. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you don't miss a thing. Happy August. Talk soon, Alex. P.S. Don't wait until it's too late to grab your ticket to Posse Fest Live. This event is a rare opportunity to meet like-minded entrepreneurs and professionals, network with new friends and clients, and learn from the absolute best experts in the industry today. Click here and learn more about Posse Fest. So, again, this is just another man, like, here's all the stuff that's coming, get involved. There's 1,000 ways to play, kind of a thing. I would ROIA it, man. I would keep it focused on building up for this, her Posse Fest. And then all the other stuff and our regular stuff on YouTube, I would shorten that. I'd send that out in a different thing or link to a different page, like, PS at the end or PPS. Yeah. So PS, grab your Posse Fest live. If you want to see what's happening on YouTube this month, click here or whatever. Like I would drastically shorten that section here because I think it pulls away from everything else. But Alex likes to write that way. And as I previously said, she's a good copywriter. So it is what it is. Just not the way I would do it. I think she'd have better results if she stayed focused. David, want to know who I dislike more than anyone else on the internet? Well, okay, it's not just one person. It's a whole damn personality trait. I like to call these people the grammar gremlins instead of the grammar Nazis because people from Vancouver, that's not very popular. But grammar gremlins it's more alliterative. It sounds better, except that Nazi is a more powerful word, and that's what we say. But anyways, the grammar gremlins, unlike your run-of-the-mill grammar police, these people are not well-intentioned when they make a point, when they point out a mistake. Grammar police are usually kind and respectful enough to send you a private message when they notice a mistake. Like when I got this very helpful message from a friend on Sunday. "You're doing great, Alex. I help anyone get to paid right." Ha, thank you, the irony, right? Well, that's embarrassing. Grammar gremlins, on the other hand, would rather give themselves a false sense of superiority by ruthlessly calling out strangers on the internet like this gem of a gem. "It's here, bitch." I don't know what it says there, right? All right. I am very unimpressed, and even more so, I am shocked by your choices of words. "What happened to? You should be embarrassed." Wow. Honestly, I laugh when people come after me with grammar, punctuation, or choice of words. LOL. Listen, people, I'm a copywriter, a conversation. Hey, listen here, people. I'm a copywriter, a conversationalist, a storyteller. I'm not a literary perfectionist. I'm walking here. And frankly, if I or you wrote a technically perfect, grammatically flawless way, no one would read it. I've talked about this myself. You can break the rules to communicate because the goal of communicating is communicating and expressing an idea. Now, that being said, if you're communicating to highfalutin people, you should probably talk in a highfalutin way, right? And for the rest of people, when you're engaging with the Joe Schmoes, you're engaging with buyers of common products, or maybe not common products. Maybe it's super nice. Maybe you're selling $2,000 surfboards. Do you want to use technically, grammatically correct language with the surfer bros? Or you want to be like, "Dude, it was so rad. Bro, the swells were freaking sick. Dude, oh my God, it was bitchin'," right? You can talk like that, and it's a totally different thing because it's a totally different audience. Write for your group, but be a conversationalist, a storyteller, right? Not a literary perfectionist. And frankly, if I or you wrote in a technically perfect and grammatically flawless way, no one would read it. That shit would be boring as hell. Oh yeah, I swear sometimes too, deal with it. I will deal with it, Alex. I will deal with it. That type of writing isn't what the modern day internet age doom scrolling browser wants to read. They want to be entertained, educated, or inspired. They want to relate to your messaging. And sometimes things need to be written in a certain way to be approachable and relatable. It's okay to emphasize a word or statement with a well-placed bolding. It's okay to use ... to help make a smoother transition, which is called a coherence marker, by the way. Learn about them here. It's okay to use the occasional uppercase text and misplaced dash. It's okay to make up fun words if they're on brand. I agree with all of those things. So if your message is overly formal, long-winded, or super technical, or if you just want to learn, so if you just want to know how to add more personality and flow to your writing through GIFs, emojis, boldings, and other formatting tips, this week's YouTube video is for you. I share 5 tips to make your copywriting more engaging, relatable, and easy to read. No matter your business, brand, or niche, you'll learn how to structure your copy to make it more skimmable, relatable, easy, and fun to read. And I even created a free formatting guide with an in-depth breakdown of all my formatting tricks. Forget about trying to please everyone, David, and instead learn to write copy people are actually, and instead learn how to write copy people actually enjoy reading, because that's the kind of copy that will get you clients and make you money. Check it out here, Alex. All right, so what do we do here, right? This long story, I complained about it. It doesn't work. And then we start getting into some of our offers. And she offers 17,000 different ones. Probably just, again, she's probably tracking engagement level and putting you in different things. The more you're clicking, the more you're going to get actual pitches to buy later on. I think I would guess if I were doing it with this many links, which is generally not advisable, I'm just doing value email after value email, I'd probably write something like, if they've clicked one of these links in the last 5 days, they're going to be put in a different thing. If they've clicked 4 of the different links in the last week, they're going to get put on a buy track, right? Like that's probably how I would do that. They're clearly practicing. I reflect that in my marketing. I can see you've been working hard, right? We're going to sell. All right. So that's how I would organize this all. We'll talk about email automations and sequences later. That'll be tomorrow. This week's YouTube video is for you. We're going to do this, and this. I have this other free thing. Check it out here. So we really leaned hard on that story. We went for a long time. And even within the story, we did some examples, some real life examples. We kind of defined these people. We provided a real life example. We complained about people. We went on like a new tangent. They call it my choice of words. We could go straight to, I'm not a literary perfectionist, and even if I was, no one would read it, right? I could write it that way, but what we did was we broke it down. We said, look, I'm this, all these good things. I'm not this bad thing, because that bad thing is bad. That shit would be boring as hell. That doesn't work with these people. So now we pivoted to yet another slightly different example. Why aren't we doing that? Because it's not achieving our goal, right? Here's another one. They want to relate to your messages. Do we want to provide some examples of ways that you can break grammatical rules? Sure, that's this whole section here, right? So you can see how she's pivoting away so that she can go through this super long email. And it sounds rambly because it kind of is, because it's not all pointing to a single action, but I digress. It's like one of those, again, it's not even perfect. It's not that focused, and yet it's still working. So you can do 17 out of 18 things right and still have a really good thing. All right, I'll be back for Keith Krantz. Here's a list of 26 ways to optimize. So let's go. 26 ways to improve your Facebook or YouTube ads. I love this from Keith. You subscribe to his everlasting ad program. It's like a $1 thing, and you're going to get a webinar, a 3-day webinar from him. He does like a welcome thing, tells you what to expect like instantly in an email. And 6 hours later, which is a format he loves using and I think is super powerful. It's like, don't provide it right away, but do it close enough a couple of hours later to the initial thing that you promised that people are still engaged, and just deliver value like crazy. Love this format. It's so good. It's like, I want an everlasting ad. We're going to do that 3-day course thing. Why do I get you to show up? Because I know my stuff. Here are 26 ways to improve your Facebook or YouTube ads. Wow. Killer. All right, we get in. Here's a list of 26 ways to optimize your evergreen paid traffic system. It's probably pretty small for you, so we're going to up this. Here's a list of 26 ways to optimize your evergreen paid traffic system. Split testing the big idea on the landing page. Split testing additional proof, sales copy, or product details on landing page versus super simple page. Using the best front-end offer price optimized for your market. 90% do not have this dialed, even if they think they do. Adding 1 or 2 more order bumps on the order form. I have a thing about that with orders. Sorry, you're not there, you're there. I have a thing about that with orders. I recently ran a test where I removed all of the order bumps because the order bumps were small dollar. They're $27 a pop. And our first upsell. So order bumps, when you check out on the page, order bumps are like, hey, before you hit enter, like, do you want to hit the check mark? You also want this? Okay, enter, I want it. Those are order bumps. After you hit enter, after you put in your credit card information, a video pops up. Hey, do you want to add this to your order? That's an upsell. Typically, upsells can be bigger dollar value, but there's no set rule. Like Keith Krantz has a really massive order bump. So you go through his whole everlasting ad thing, gets to the very bottom. It's like, hey, if you want to upgrade to the VIP version of this webinar for $247, you're going to get X, Y, and Z and do it this way. That upgrade order bump that's like a higher dollar value was pretty sweet. It's one of my favorite examples I've seen. But we'll talk about order creation on the very last day here. This is a copywriting course, but I've been thinking about it more. And I think for the one for business owners, because generally copywriters, at least where you're at right now, are probably not going, which is the learning stage, you're probably not going to be in offer creation mode. You need to practice copywriting a little bit more. But This one's dialed into people who are like copywriter freelancers. I'm sure we have some business owners here. Hey, what's up? Check out this course. It's going to be huge. You're going to love it for offer creation. We're going to talk about stuff exactly like that, great examples, everything like that. There's going to be a shorter version of a copywriting class that I do at the beginning. It's just not going to be 20 weeks long. So it won't be quite as in-depth. All that to say, we will cover a small amount of that here, regardless of if you're a freelancer or you're a business owner. If you're going to find value in an in-depth order creation thing, keep an eye out after this course. Like I said, it's taken me months to put this together, so it'll take me a little while to put out the offer-based thing, but we'll go more into copywriting and talk about like, hey, how this whole copywriting, marketing strategy, order, and offer creation thing all goes together. So anyways, that's like the level 2. So we can add 1 or 2 more order bumps. All that to say, sorry, I removed, wow, I got lost there. I removed the order bumps, my $27 order bump, so that they would go to $197 upsell, thinking, hey, there's probably some offer fatigue going on here. And it crazy increased our conversions, like 30 or 40% increase in conversions, and then an additional 30 or 40% in average order value. So that was a hell of a test. Love that. That was great. So all that saying, sometimes you want to add order bumps and sometimes you want to remove order bumps because you're actually keeping people back from the real offer. But I digress. I think it's Claude Hopkins who says like even the best marketers are just making educated guesses, and like really educated guesses, but educated guesses. And the big thing you need to do, he's the author of Scientific Advertising. The thing that you need to do is test. And I'll never disagree with that. You got to test all day. All right, so you're going to add 1 or 2 more order bumps on the order form, adding a second product option in the order form. Example, a $27 product versus a $99 bundle, or a $7.95 book, or a book plus audio for $22. So we're talking about order upgrades, right? That's a good use of the order bump section. Starting with a lower price when first testing the funnel. Sure. Using the best upsell price, because really what you want to see is it working at all? Do people like this offer at all? And I can always raise the price. Right. Using the best upsell price based on your market and your back end process, adding bundle pricing, if appropriate, bringing more live elements into an evergreen webinar or challenge, like removing the just in time and testing a once a day session with live chat, right? Which is like he was like, oh, by the way, this Monday or Tuesday or whenever they kick off their 3-day thing, we're actually kicking that off. It's so great that you showed up here just in time. So maybe you can do that, or you can say like, I actually run one of these every day at 12. It's a pre-recorded webinar. It's fine. You can do it whenever. Increase page loading speed. Improve organic page engagement. Facebook or IG only, which increases brand quality scores and reduces ad CPM. So that's good. That's basically saying if you're running ads to people, put out more helpful organic content that people see your face. They see that you're providing value. They know that you know what's up. And then they're just going to click through, and Facebook and Instagram appreciate that you're also bringing people in and keeping them engaged. So they want to encourage you to keep doing business on Facebook and Instagram. So there's this whole thing in it. It's kind of a murky thing to understand how Facebook and Instagram's algorithm and how their paid ads work, but that's all factoring in. So you can improve your paid performance by improving your organic stuff, right? Remove red flag trigger words from ad copy that increase CPM, so don't do sketchy stuff. Same thing on your landing page, because Facebook, Google, YouTube, their things can actually crawl your landing page that you're sending people to. And if it sees red flags in that as well, it'll also increase your CPM. So that's your cost per 1,000 views. I'm gonna derail here because I think it's super interesting. People hate on the Americans for not doing the metric system. There's my nice pivot. Wait, how is this related? I promise it's related. And mile is one of those, like, what is it? 5,280 feet? That's nonsense. Well, it's not actually. A mile is a perfectly good unit of measurement. And because when you take left foot, right foot, so 2 steps, 1 stride, a mile is 1,000 strides. So if you're leading an army, or if you're moving from city to city, or you're trading and having to go on foot, what an excellent way to measure distances. No one hesitate to measure that long. It's just roughly 1,000 strides. Great. That's a mile. That's super useful. But what does a mile have to do with CPMs? Because it seems like it should be cost per million. Well, a million is just 1,000 thousands, which I realized the other day. And that's why it's called a million. But generally, I say that because CPM sounds like it should be cost per million views, and it's not. It's cost per 1,000 views. I thought that was super interesting. Hopefully you found that interesting too. Number 13, Edit ad copy and modify video length or video aspect ratio to get in as many ad placements as possible. Add warm performance branding campaign, amplifying content to warm audiences that leads to more repeat buyers, more higher ticket buyers, and people remembering you. I'm going to keep going through this, but the main point here, there's not a lot of pivoting here. Eventually, we're going to get into all these different offers, but this is just a listicle, right? We're just going hard on the listicle. Add warm performance branding campaigns, amplifying content to warm audiences that lead. Yeah, okay. Add cold performance branding campaigns that get 20x more CPMs and cost per video view, but are not optimized for conversion. You have to be very careful with your strategy here because you don't want to waste money or whatever. But warm branding versus cold branding, great move. Increase shareability on Facebook/IG ads and lower ad costs significantly. Increase click-through rates, which lowers cost per actions by improving the hook or big promise. Tighten up ad scripts by removing all storylines that do not move the core storyline. Hey, that's that ROIA thing, right? So now we're not just saying one piece of content. We're saying, like, look at your whole journey. If they're getting distracted and pulling off, keep it all focused on one thing, right? Then we can actually tell a cohesive story and and really use it like a good soap opera sequence to move them all together, right? And that's going to increase your CTRs and lower CPCs, cost per clicks, and CPMs, cost per 1,000 views. Create a hook or a big promise to speak to the unaware of the problem avatar so that you can really scale, and also be more set up for a win with YouTube and TikTok ads in addition to Facebook and Instagram. Add Google display retargeting so you show up in all the mainstream media sites to increase ROIs and increase brand awareness and omnipresence. Use different campaign bid methods to either scale or lower CPAs depending on the situation. Cost cap, minimum return on ad spend, bid cap, target cost. This is an older email. Most people are going to automate today with Facebook stuff, but it is what it is. Really good people will still use manual bid strategies. Use different delivery and optimization methods to either scale or lower CPAs. Use a different conversion window to scale or lower CPAs, 1 day, 7 day, etc. Choose an optimization conversion goal lower in the funnel if you're generating enough data. Optimize on sales in addition to leads or appointment bookings versus leads. Add a want some help video on the back end of low ticket offers to speed up the ascension process to higher ticket products. And then mine for gold with your videos to find viral opening clips and to make new videos that resonate with different avatars. By the way, I have a training going through 77 ways to improve ads that include a giant mind map and 2 deep dive trainings. It's included as a bonus with the special pre-flight VIP bundle that you can get here for $349. I said $247 earlier. Apparently is a $349 order bump. So they've clearly tagged that I didn't buy that. And then there's all this, right? Or you can get just the 77 ways training for $77 as a standalone product here. Improving several of these impactors will make a positive impact on your performance, but the real secret is knowing which 2 to 3 things will make the biggest impact right now for your exact situation. And helping people do exactly that is one of my biggest superpowers. So now we're telling a story about ourselves. No, I am not some super genius who came out of the womb. Here's like, no, I'm not this, but I did do this, right? So that's another pivot. No, I'm not some super genius who came out of the womb with the ability to scale Facebook and YouTube ads like a mad scientist. I developed that superpower by putting the work in with hundreds of ad accounts in over 70 industries, spending over $500 million in ad spend, generating hundreds of millions in sales and hundreds of millions of video views. Now, also spending over $500 million in ad spend and generating hundreds of millions in sales. That's a ROAS of 1, buddy. All right. Anyways, however, I also realize that we have unique God-given abilities we should recognize in order to maximize in our work life if we want to make the most impact possible. So now we're pivoting to a little bit of a story. And a while back, I realized I am both left brain and a right brain person. In my elementary school days, I was winning young authors contests and spelling bee trophies while doing college level math classes in 9th grade. Why does boasting about nerdy elementary stories matter to you? Because the best way to separate yourself from the competition with ads is to have a proven process for both the creative and the analytical side of ads. Also, I help explain why I love the entire process of making ad campaigns dominate, from the creative and storytelling to analyzing and optimizing inside the Google and Facebook ads managers. And I want to help you 2 to 3x your ad performance and grow your sales by 50 to 100% over the next 60 to 90 days. And now we're pivoting to a very specific benefit, right? So I liked all these things. I told this story. I connected the thing I'm pitching, and then we pivoted to a very specific benefit. So if you want to stand out for the competition like never before, that's a benefit. Here at the very end, we're building that story up. We're at the end of our 3-act structure. We're about to strike. If you want to stand out from competition like never before, create a true system with ads running on the big 3 platforms telling your story, building audience goodwill, and turning strangers into customers 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, then fully commit to diving into the flight camp with all hands on deck. We start Tuesday at 9 a.m. LAA time. Blah, 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 blah. Your pre-flight materials and training are available right now here. See you on Tuesday. Bring your focus and bring your questions. So what did we do here? All right. We told a lot of stories. We provided a lot of value. The whole thing is to get people to show up. Maybe we get them to buy more if they're interested at all. If they don't, we're basically downselling them into showing up to the thing. And we're saying we know it's going to be a couple of days, so you can already start doing some stuff right now. That's really cool. See you on Tuesday. Bring your focus and bring your questions. And we signed off with a nice little personal touch. Sweet. Good stuff, Keith. God, I'm only halfway done. Okay, baby. Dickie Bush. Long email. So many. I'm fading away. From $0 to 7 figures in 12 months by writing every day. Dickie at Ship 30 for 30. This is what they do. You ship like 30 pieces of content for 30 days. That's their whole shtick. They're a copywriting school. But very focused on kind of like long form value based stuff, and yeah, opening open loops and making value for people and everything like that. So it's really good for retention. So yeah, we'll jump into it. Writing and publishing every day for 30 days will change your life. I know this because it changed my life. And on this fine Friday, with just 12 hours until your discounted enrolled window closes, I want to share my story with you, because in the short time since I started writing every day, so we didn't go to the story. We said, I want to share my story with you, and we won't start it till here. That's a mini open loop. I left my job on Wall Street, one that left me burnt out and unsatisfied. I lost 100 pounds and got in the best shape of my life. I built lifelong friendships with people I never would have met otherwise. I built a 7-figure writing-based business that has me waking up happier and more energized than ever. So before the story, we kind of pivot and then do like the highlights of it, but really these are disguised benefits, right? These are my benefits, but they could be your benefits. That's what I'm hinting at. In January of 2020, I started writing online. Hey, look, the actual story. Well, I guess you could call it that. So this is your WIFM. That's great. It's 5 lines in, but it's also in bullets. It's bolded. That's pretty sweet. It's a WIFM disguised as a story, but I really like that. I started a newsletter and signed up my roommates, friends, and family members. I still remember hitting publish on that first edition, palms sweaty, hands shaking, waiting for the roar of applause from the internet, while also secretly scared everyone I knew would read it and judge me. Instead, I got nothing. Crickets. But my journey was underway. Fast forward 9 months to September of 2020. Why skip those 9 months? Because they were painful. They were a painful, lonely experience. Every Sunday, I would slave away over a hot keyboard, over editing, overthinking, and procrastinating hitting the publish button. 40 weeks in, I'd written 40 mediocre blog posts. And I'd followed the exact playbook you've probably heard of, writing every week on your own website, own your distribution, and the rest takes care of itself, or so I've been told. I'll be honest with you. Those first 40 weeks were a massive waste of time. I was publishing into the abyss, each post getting no more than a few readers. I had no feedback, no data, basically flying blind. And this lack of feedback and sloth-like cadence meant I struggled to find my voice, my community, my niche, and almost gave up on writing entirely. So here's the big problem in the story, but it's also probably something that you're experiencing. It feels like a slight aside to build things up, right? Because before we were just saying I was doing this, and well, it all changed when I did this. So these were a little bit extra, a little bit more flavor and details that they added in there to make it longer and more impactful. Well, it all changed when I threw out the old playbook out the window and started my own. I committed to writing and publishing a short, or just a short, 250-word essay every day for 30 days. And instead of publishing into the void of my own blog, I would post them to Twitter, where I knew there was aggregated attention. So I get immediate feedback. This is when everything accelerated. My perfectionism squashed, my writing speed 10x faster, my feedback loops airtight, my fear of judgment annihilated, my audience growth more in 30 days than the previous 12 months. Not to mention during these 30 days, I received multiple job offers. I made my first $1,000 on the internet. I got shouted out on Tim Ferriss's 5 Bullet Friday. I made dozens of friends, some of which are now my closest ones. I met some of the people I idolized and looked up to. And most importantly, I woke up every day thrilled to sit down, write, and create. Hey, look, at the end of our story, we pivoted to those benefits. We're really selling that dream, you know? It's the before-after bridge that we're really hitting the after. Benefit or pain point. Can I point to how it changed my outlook on life? It's my social proof, but it's social proof, I suppose. Can I pivot from a story to data or data to story? 10x faster, that kind of stuff. So we pivoted to 10x faster, more in 30 days than in previous 12 months. Those are some light data, but we pivoted to data. Turns out there was something to this writing and publishing every day idea. Later that month, I was on a long morning walk when an idea popped into my head. Surely there are thousands of other aspiring writers out there just like me who felt this exact same way I felt 30 days ago, and maybe, just maybe, this idea could help them burst through it, I thought to myself. But so we're outlining the origin story of Ship 30 for 30. But I only had 500 followers at the time, way too small to start a business, right? Wrong. Yes, you read that right. I had 500 followers 1 year ago today, and now I have over 150,000. But writing and publishing every day for 30 days helped me build a small, dense following. Every idea I put out in the world led to more ideas, more feedback, more opportunities, and things continued to compound. So I sent a one-off tweet to my nascent following. Nascent? Oh, I don't even know that word. Why would you do that, Dickie? Just coming into existence. All right. So I sent a one-off tweet to my nascent following of 500 people. Dickie Bush. I don't know. Did he leave Twitter? I don't know. Who would want to be a part of a group where every person writes 30 screenshot essays in 30 days? Eliminate the friction of shipping every post under 200 words, pick a theme and create an asset around it. Accountability from a group of people doing it with you. 3 retweets, 107 likes, and 35 replies. The response is overwhelming. There were hundreds of responses, and just a few days later, all of us were in a Slack channel and we're off and running. Every person committed to writing and publishing every day for 30 days, and we spent those 30 days learning, iterating, building friendships, and having a damn good time doing it. Now, let's fast forward to today. Over the last 12 months, over 3,000 writers have gone through the Ship 30 for 30 program. We've run 7 cohorts, each one better than the last, with more content, more community, and better lessons. And hundreds of them have gone on to flourish coming out of it, building businesses, launching newsletters. So now we're going to social proof, exact examples of this happening. Building businesses, launching newsletter, profiting with digital products, getting new job opportunities, writing for famous publications, and much more. Every single one of them points to Ship 30, and specifically writing and publishing every day for 30 days as the decision that accelerated everything for them. And I agree with them, because over the last few months, I've successfully transitioned out of a job on Wall Street because of the opportunities writing online unlocked for me. I now have full control of my daily schedule, who I spend my time with, and the work I do, and it's basically everything I've ever dreamed of. Now, I share this story because this year is already flying by, and I'm here to make a promise to you. Writing and publishing every day for 30 days is the most powerful personal commitment you can make. Big, bold, big promise. We're here at the end. Let's stick the landing. If you feel stuck, unsure, lacking direction, or anything in between, the action and momentum that comes from writing every day for 30 days is exactly what you need. Click here to enroll in the January 2024 Ship 30 cohort. Can't wait to see you on board. P.S. If this story resonated with you, if you feel burnt out, a bit dissatisfied, a bit unsure about the next steps, hit reply and let me know, or DM me on Twitter at Dickie Bush. I've been there and I've navigated. I'd love to help you make the best decision as you consider the next steps and whether Ship 30 is one of those steps. Thanks for reading. We hope you've enjoyed the course so far. If you're finding the sequence mind-blown worthy, you'll love Ship 30 for 30, where every week we dive further into these topics in our twice weekly live sessions. If you'd like to manage your email preferences, you can do blah, 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 blah. Cool. Wow. That's a good one. Long story, building up the value, providing lots of example. We pivot to data. Over the last 12 months, over 3,000 writers have gone through the Ship 30 for 30. We've run 7 cohorts, each one better than the last. Here are the specific examples of what have come from it. Here are my personal benefits restated yet again. I'm going to make a promise to you. Here's everything you've wanted. Let's do it. Okay. Those are sweet pivots, man. Okay. Good long emails. You can say, like, obviously these are being used in the sales context. Excuse me. Oh, there we go. My bad. Examples, baby. Oh, my Lord. Salt Strong. Your rods are in danger. Strong is a online saltwater fishing group, right? Your rods are in danger from Luke at Salt Strong. All right. Your rods and reels are in danger. Big, bold claim. Nice opening. Would you take $1,000 of your hard-earned money and tape it to the antenna of your truck, then leave it in a busy parking lot? Yeah, sounds irresponsible, and it is. But it's just as irresponsible as leaving all your rods and reels in your boat or truck and walking away. All right, so what do? Good story. We realize the problem we're having right away. Kind of our with them is, hey, you're going to stop doing this. It's subtle. It's not stated specifically, but it's in there. This happens more than you probably realize, like when you beach your boat at the pass and walk around, run into the gas station for a Snickers, park your trailer at the ramp, grab a sub from Publix, go to pay for ice. There are a lot. These are the most common times when rods get stolen, and it happens a lot, and it happens so fast. It's not surprising. It's almost too easy. They're standing up 7 feet tall, screaming, "Take me," to every sticky-fingered fisherman that comes by. Think of how much money is in all your rod and reel setups. So now we've pivoted to, I assume this is going to be a relatively expensive dock lock, right? But we're going to say it's $200 per setup. We're positioning it of like, hey, this is actually going to save you money, right? Times that by how many rods, and that's a lot of money. And of course, some rod and reel combos could be up to $1,000 for just one. You'd never leave that much money anywhere else unguarded. But it's tricky. What are you supposed to do? You can't take a 7 or 8 foot rod and cram it inside the cab of the truck. Even just laying them on the floor on the boat so they're not visible can cause damage. So, is there an easy, quick way to lock up all your rods when you have to leave them unattended? Yes, Salt Strong has found the answer: dock locks. Recently, I was approached by the owner of Dock Locks to check out their new solution to the problem, and I was really impressed. They've created a way that you can easily lock up all my rods, so now we're pivoting to the benefit from the story, the problem. No matter where I am, even if I don't have a rod holder to put them in, they use a patented attachment that goes right on your rod and allows you to quickly lock it up with a simple cable. Plus, it locks in the rod and the reel at the same time. That's right. One little attachment secures your reel and rod and allows you to lock both in with one lock. So if you ever have to step away from your rods for any reason, you can have peace of mind knowing that they're locked up safe while you're gone. This also allows you, secondary benefit, to leave your rods and reels on the boat or in the truck overnight. If you're going fishing in the next couple of days, a big time saver from moving them all back inside, plus eliminates wear and tear. As you guys know, I exclusively use our slot machine rods, and I have a lot of them. You probably also know how much those cost. So for me, this dock locks purchase is a no-brainer. With the dock lock system, I can lock up multiple rods at a time with just one of their cables, or even an old bike cable that I already have. This makes it super affordable way to protect your investment. So do the math for yourself of how much money you're leaving at risk, and think about, I'd change that sentence a little bit. It's a little clunky, but do the math for yourself of how much money you're risking, and think about all the times you leave that money unguarded. Both are probably more than you realize. The owner of Dock Locks is offering you, Salt Strong members, first access to these new locks with your member discount. This means you get them before anyone else and at a better price. They haven't even added them to Amazon yet, but they've only given us 100 locks in this first batch, and they will sell out quickly. So we've provided some limitations there. Hey, there's only so many. So if you don't want your rods to get swiped and lose out on the fishing trip you're about to go on, which could be the real kick in the gut, grab yourself these rod and reel locks from Dock Locks at fishstrong.com. Click here to check them out and get this exclusive deal while it lasts. Tight lines and safe rods. Luke Simons, Chief Fishing Addict. P.S. Remember, here at Salt Strong, we don't take a single penny of sponsorship money. Every product we use and sell is thoroughly inspected and tested to give our stamp of approval. These dock locks are a great product from a great company, which is why we partnered with them to offer it to you at a discount. Click here to check them out and claim yours. Cool. So nice story. There's not a lot of pivots in there. It's I've got the story. I'm building it up. I'm talking about all the times that you're leaving your rod, right? They get stolen. It's no surprise. They do this. So we kind of paint the picture a little bit. We didn't need to paint that picture. We talk about how much money it could cost. We didn't have to do that. So both of those are pivots that are allowing us to kind of build up the value and the problem and everything. Man, I'm sitting too low for this camera. Is that better? Yeah. You'd never leave that much money unguarded, but it's tricky. So now we pivoted. We could just end it here and say, you'd never leave that much money. And you say, but what are you supposed to do? What even is the problem? What a great way in 2 lines to lead in. Because you could say, Salt Strongers found the answer, doc locks. But you say, here's the problem. I've always done this. And so you're kind of building up in this person's mind, like, oh man, I'm not just getting sold. You're like, I wish there was an answer. That's cool. Nice little pivot there. They've created this, you do this, it does this. Here's some details of how it works specifically. It's a time saver. It saves money. It could be this much. It's good. You get it. You see how it's working. And we have another Salt Strong one, your $10 tackle gift card. Alrighty, baby. Let's get after it. 2 more. You're paying too much for fishing tackle. That's your whiff 'em right there. First line. We say benefit and we hit them with their problem. You're paying too much. Because it doesn't look like you've ever used your 20 to 30% member discount at the Fish Strong Tackle Shop. You haven't bought anything from us yet. I need to make sure you're aware of this benefit. It's one of the most valuable direct savings in your pocket benefits of being a Salt Strong member. To not use it is a waste. So to help you get familiar with the Fish Strong Tackle Shop, you get a free $10 gift code to buy whatever you want in the next 48 hours. No string or wind knots attached. And $10 can buy a surprising amount of different things. Multiple packs of lures, weedless hooks and weighted jigs, Dr. Popper popping course, Andy's premium monofilament leader, braid cutting scissors and hook sharpener, bottle of the best fish catching scent, and a heck of a lot more. Plus, when you get in the store, you'll see, so we did examples of what $10 can buy. That's a sweet pivot. Otherwise, we could have just said $10 gets you a thing. So we're not even pitching a big thing. What we're doing, this is a retention play, right? Is a retention play. So we say, hey, you're already a member, you're paying $100 a year. One of those things that you get is a 20 to 30% discount. And you know what? We're going to give you $10 free just so that you spend and, start actually using your discount. And so you stick around and hopefully pay us $100 next year and hopefully continue buying stuff from us because it's still profitable, right? It's a win-win-win for everybody, but you're getting a 20 to 30% discount and we're giving you 10 extra bucks. You can buy all these things for them, right? Plus, when you get in the store, you'll see we carry all the gear and tackle you're probably overpaying for somewhere else. Yes, that's right. We offer the same name brand products you see on the shelves at big box tackle shops. We don't just sell our custom lures. Even for you live bait fishermen, we have the jigs, hooks, and weights you're already using. So it'd be smart to stop overpaying for this tackle everywhere when you can get it directly from us at a discount included with your membership. But you need to do it fast. This is free money for the next 2 days only. All you have to do is click below to get your $10 gift code automatically applied to your order. It will appear at checkout. Take advantage and start using your members only tackle benefits today. Click here to apply your $10 free tackle gift code. Your code will automatically be applied to your cart. Just build an order and check out or manually enter code Better Tackle Shop at checkout. Tight lines, full tackle boxes, and happy wallets, Joe. P.S. We're here to help. Remember, all your tackle purchases are guaranteed, and even so, we're objection busting here at the end. Remember, all your tackle purchases are guaranteed, and if you ever have questions or concerns, you can reach out to us directly via email, phone, or through private member community. Here's the time left. It is what it is. Sweet email from Joe, and now we go to the final one. The Business Lounge landing page from Kimberly Ann Jimenez. She is a Samcart user. She is a student of, Keith Krantz, who did the 26 ways to improve your Facebook or YouTube ads. Good stuff. So let's go to Kimberly Ann Jimenez for the Business Lounge. What? Did I put a landing page in here instead of an email? Why would I do that? Bro, that's not an email. It's long. That's for landing page day. Everyone wins one. You get one back, everyone. There we go. All right, so we got through our long examples. We will talk about Kimberly Ann Jimenez's long landing page in a couple of days. But a landing page is not an email. I'm not sure why it ended up on this list. But she writes good emails too. But we're almost to live practice, everybody. We have done it. Congratulations to you. And before you write, we've had many days of advice. I just want to quickly run through this. We did this yesterday too. Remember, features versus benefits. Yes, sometimes you're going to talk about your doc locks and the whole thing is going to be selling benefits to people who are an educated audience of fishermen who are going to be like, oh, it does this and it does this and it does this. Oh, okay, cool. But even with that, you're like, hey, now you can go buy a sandwich without having to worry about your rod getting stolen, right? We're going to put in all the features towards the end for the people who aren't quite sold in yet. But yeah, most of it's selling the benefits, really painting a picture, showing a problem and moving away from it. So focus on features versus benefits. Tell a story. Keep it simple. Try not to use giant words. Dicky bush, weird word that I had to Google there. You think the average person knows what that word is? No. Examples. Use metaphors and enthymemes. Good. Use GIFs. Use images. Find ways to reduce the words you are using, even when you're going for a long email. Why? Because that's 1,000 free words from an image. That's 500 free words from a metaphor, right? It makes something shorter feel longer because it's so impactful. It showcases some personality. It showcases a pain point, a benefit. It might make it funny. It might be color. It might be this and that. It might be, showing someone happy or whatever. Use metaphors, enthymemes, images, GIFs, screenshots. Use those examples and add effectively hundreds or thousands of words to what you're doing. Ethos, make people like you, call out the internet douchebags. Even if you're going to communicate like an internet douchebag, sorry, Alex, you call those people out, you make an enemy, you put yourself against them. People will like you if they dislike those people. So there you go. Build up your ethos a little bit. Or say, hey, I don't know, hypothetically, I'm putting together this course free for you, and it's all because I made this free university, and I'm just this super charitable guy. I hope you like me, but you can, of course, support me by supporting freeuniversalcollege.com or by just signing up for any of the assets here. And yes, eventually we might sell you on some sort of like group coaching program or a one-on-one coaching program, but only if you take action, only if you're in this, you've got a couple clients and you're just like, man, I don't want to lose these clients. I want someone to read through my stuff and make sure I'm doing a good job. Hey, hit me up. But I'm doing that to help you and making it worth my time. But most of the time, I'm just trying to be helpful to more people, right? That's a good ethos builder, hypothetically, if that were to be the thing you were doing, right? You can be yourself. You can use the 6 copyrighted characters to start, mix and match them, put them together. Make sure that you're yourself before you're trying to copy other people's style. Just figure something out and kind of stick to that. It'll help you be a little bit more specific and cultivate something that people like about you. Editing, you've got your ROIA, your rule of one, your cub, which is to cut it out ruthlessly. Make sure each line does something separately. Make sure it's not doing the same job as a different line. Make sure that you're cutting out, if the line doesn't do anything, get rid of that sucker. And then finally, so what, improve it. You say, I want you to do this. So what, improve it. Add in benefits. Give me testimonials and examples. Yes, it'll make it longer, but it will make it impactful. And finally, research. If you don't know your audience, you can't sell to them. Make sure you research them. ChatGPT is an awesome resource. Amazon, Yelp, places where your target prospect lives, that they write, that they talk. You can go there, figure out what problems they have with existing solutions, figure out how they talk about certain things. If they're a dude bro surfer, you can figure out how they communicate. If they're a bunch of stuffy bar lawyers, you can figure out how they communicate and communicate that back to them in your messaging. All right, remember all those. Try and keep those 8 things / 18 different things that I mentioned. Keep them in your brain as we go into our live practice. Okay, we've done it. All right, the first thing I want to do is edit one of Alex Catoni's emails because I feel like it's right there. I feel like it's right there. But I can't quite figure out what she's going for here, right? So I'm going to go into my link. And the reason why is she has this eye patch douchey marketing thing that she does in what I think is yet another long email. Yep. it's so good, but it again, she just doesn't follow the ROIA thing. So I'm gonna I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to go up to the first image, if there is an image. All right, whatever. So she's got all that. I'm just going to rewrite her email real quick, basically. All right. To be more ROIA-y. And I know I've kind of been talking about it, and sometimes I think that's enough, but sometimes I worry that I'm just telling you all this stuff and it's not all that helpful until you see it, right? As I'm talking out loud, it makes sense to me that I'm going to change this line, add in this in here. But that's why I like to come back and actually do real life examples instead of just kind of like live talking through stuff. So, sorry, I need to have a subject line. Douchey Marketing 101. So, first problem, body and subject line. So first problem is that the first problem is that somehow douchey marketing and eye patch are related. I don't know how. Yeah, it's like douchey marketing, eye patch, pirate is a douche. I don't understand that connection. So what am I going to do here? Douchey Marketing 101. Let's just keep that. It's Douchey Marketing 101. I could have switched it. I could have said something like, I see douchey marketers everywhere, or something like that. I don't know. Doing the C things, right, at least connects it to the eye patch a little bit, right? You could do that. I think Douchey Marketing 101 is a pretty good subject line. So we're going to keep that, right? But you can't come in and say, Dave, when I was 7 years old, I had to wear an eye patch. Okay, so we're going to say, David, I hate the douchey bro marketer vibe. Not how I talk, but it's how she talks. Why? Because when I was 7, those same guys were absolute a-holes to me. Okay? Because when I was 7 years old, those guys were absolute a-holes to me. In the 2nd grade, I had to wear an eye patch. Yes, an eye patch. My left eye. Okay, so now it connects better. Douchey Marketing 101. David, I hate the douchey bro marketer vibe. Why? Because when I was 7, those same guys were absolute a-holes to me. In the 2nd grade, I had to wear an eye patch. Yes, an eye patch. My left eye has terrible vision, and apparently the doctor was worried that it would go lazy. So I was forced to cover my right eye with an eye patch in an attempt to strengthen the left. Well, it didn't work. The only thing that damn eye patch accomplished was traumatizing an awkward, frizzy-haired 2nd grader and ruin her chances of making any friends that year. Okay, so we've gotten pretty far in. I have no idea why I'm here except to say that I hate douchey marketing 101. So, I hate the douchey bro marketer vibe. That's why I make it my mission to keep you from becoming one. All right, there's a with 'em. Why? All right. David, I hate the douchey bro marketer vibe. That's why I make it my mission to keep you from becoming one. Why? Because when I was 7, those same guys were absolute a-holes to me. In the 2nd grade, blah, 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 blah. All right, so you see how we now have a with 'em up there. We've connected our subject line and our body line, and then yet we get to connect it to the story. Same kind of stylings. All right. My eye, the only thing that eye patch accomplished was to traumatize an awkward, frizzy-haired 2nd grader and ruin her chances of making any friends that year. My eye never went lazy, by the way, but nearly 3 decades later, my deep disgust for the pirates is still as strong as ever, especially for the pirates of the internet. What? Never heard of an internet pirate? Let me pull out my posse glossary. Internet pirate. That's fun. Love that personality, right? Cool. Now, captain of all internet D-bags. A sad individual who steals content, scams, or impersonates others to make a quick buck. It's Douchey Marketing 101. Since it's my mission to de-douchify the internet, cool. So that's I put it up here in you terms to keep you from being one. That's why I make it my mission to de-douchify the internet. But I wanted to put it in you terms. Yeah, we could probably make that a little bit better to be like an actual benefit and not like, don't be this guy. But you see what I'm doing. I don't have to perfect it. Because I'm not just talking about illegal scams, stolen content, and blatant stealing of people's money. I'm talking about misleading claims, hype clickbait, chronic overpromising and under-delivering. So now we've pivoted to that story, right? Get rich quick schemes and empty promises, fake testimonials, fake scarcity, fake discounts, fake anything, high pressure sales tactics, fear mongering, all these examples of what they do wrong, right? And capitalizing on your audience's biggest worries and weaknesses. Man, that's a good tactic. What? Why wouldn't I do that? I don't understand. I don't understand. That's bad. That's bad. You're hating on the douches, so that's fine. Misleading claims, okay, whatever. All right. Fine print and hidden charges, that's lame. Look, you can fear tap. It's fine. You can talk about people's fears. Just legitimately solve them. It's okay, Alex. Fine print and hidden charges, the list goes on, and it's honestly disgusting and really disheartening. I agree, because I love marketing. I really, really do. Nice little pivot there. You just kind of build up your story. You're building your ethos. What a great thing to pivot to. There are so many brilliant and authentic marketers out there, many of whom I've had the honor to learn from directly. But unfortunately, there are also a ton of marketers who use manipulative, hypey, and severely outdated sales tactics to trick naive folks from the internet into taking out their credit cards. This is exactly the type of bullshit that has given... See, I like bullshit there. That's a good one. You just don't have to throw it in like all the time. But sometimes you're like, oh yeah, I want that word to hit. That's the exact type of bullshit. It's bullshit that has given marketers a bad rap over the years. And that's exactly why I started the Copy Posse. Luckily, customers are getting savvier and savvier by the second, and I can smell the shit from a mile away. Not necessary. It's fine. The bullshit hit hard there. It's fine. It's fine. And that means the future of marketing is changing fast. Customers today want to buy from businesses that they share values with, brands they can stand behind, and people they'll tell their friends about. And anyone who uses the old rules is going to be left behind. Alex, you use the old rules. You're calling people douchebags. Chill out, Alex. Each and every one of my Posse programs is rooted in modern marketing principles that work today. And the best part is that when you're following these principles, you don't just grow a thriving brand and loyal customer base. You'll put the D-bags out of business. And you'll be the one making money. So if you're ready to create the life and business of your dreams, here's how I can help you now. I'm just going to say Write and Ignite. No, I don't want all these other ones. Just the Write and Ignite. So this is a high converting sales page. How do you make a high converting email campaign? I don't care about my brand voice. I don't want my copywriting career. I don't want timeless marketing knowledge. That's a distraction. Rain is my exclusive. That better be a bundle. No, don't do that. No, I don't want my self-led, ambitious, fiercely empathetic, blah, 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 blah. No, I want the Own the Inbox Challenge. The Own the Inbox Challenge, which is what it's called. 12 fully customizable, proven. Sorry, my bad. No, I want the Write and Ignite Challenge, not Own the Inbox. I'm still 100% dedicated to helping you, and that's why I'm doing this. I'm constantly posting new tips here. So that kind of all needs to be shortened. It's like a low pressure sales pitch. It's like, I'm not high pressure, but of course I'm going to sell it to you like 4 different times, but I'll also give you free ones. So no, it will be left behind. Each and every one of my Posse programs is rooted in modern. Each and every one of my Posse programs. Why are you selling so many programs? Let's not do that. Because you're cross-selling, because you only have a limited amount of people. You need to sell them over and over and over, and they haven't achieved their results yet. It is what you're such a good copywriter, but that doesn't mean the programs are that effective. Also, sometimes people don't actually finish stuff or put it into action, so it is what it is. But each and every one of my that's why here in the Posse we focus on modern marketing principles that work today. And the best part, where did you invent that new font? Why are you coming at me like this? 13.5, baby. And the best part is when you follow these principles, you won't just grow a thriving brand. You put the D-bags out of business and be the one making money. So if you're ready to start creating the life and business of your dreams, I want to challenge you to start writing and create the business of your dreams today. Take the Write and Ignite challenge. You will learn how to write high converting sales page from scratch. You'll learn the exact writing process and sales formula that I've used for the 10 plus years to help businesses execute $1 million launches and students land high paying copywriting clients. So don't do all of the stuff. Look at all this free stuff I'm doing. I'm doing all of this. No, I'm 100% dedicated to helping you out any way I can. That's why I'm always sharing helpful tips on social media. That's why I'm sending out weekly emails that share stories and marketing lessons. And that's why my team and I do our very best to respond to every single email, DM, and message we receive. But if you're ready to take things to the next level, if you're ready to stop dabbling and start crushing it. I wish I could have two C's. If you're ready to stop dabbling, sampling, dipping your toes in, I'll deal with that later. But if you're ready to take things to the next level, if you're ready to stop dabbling and start crushing it, if you're ready to ignite, to write and ignite your business, your empathy, your bank account, your personal life, then it's time you took the challenge, took the Write and Ignite challenge. Welcome to the posse. I'm happy as hell you're here, Alex. Sure, that's fine. See how much more focused it is? So we start out with, I hate the douchey bro marketer vibe. I don't do that. I have the story. I don't like it. All these people are doing this. They're doing all these bad things. You don't like it. I'm not like it. That's why I started Copy Posse. The future's changing fast. That's why we don't follow the old rules. We follow modern marketing principles that work today. You got to put, if you do it, you'll grow your business, grow your loyal customers, and you'll put the D-bags out of business. So if you want to do that, you're going to need to take the Write and Ignite challenge. It'll teach you to write a high converting sales page from scratch. You'll learn the exact writing process I did. High copywriting clients. I am 100% dedicated. You should know I am 100% dedicated to helping you in any way that I possibly can. That's why I am always sharing helpful tips on social media. That shouldn't be bolded. That's why I'm sending out weekly emails that share stories and marketing lessons. And that's why my team and I do our very best to respond to every single email, DM, and message we receive. But if you're ready to take things to the next level, if you're ready to stop dabbling and start crushing it, if you're ready to write and ignite your business, your empathy, your bank account, and your personal life, then it's time you took the Write and Ignite challenge. Welcome to the posse. I'm happy you're here. Okay, sweet. So you see how we added a little bit more of a blend here. Then we went through all the story, which is great. And then we focused on one thing. And what we still did, look, we don't want to de-douchify the internet, right? She wants to give away all this free stuff, talk about all the things. Once again, be like, oh, but I have this free option. I have this. No, you can ask for the sale. You can ask for the sale while it's still building up your empathy. You should know I am 100% dedicated to help you in any way that I possibly can. That's why I'm always sending out helpful tips on social media. I'm sending out weekly emails with marketing lessons. That's why my team and I are doing everything we can to respond. We're trying to give you great free options. We really are. But this is about you. If you want to take things seriously, if you're ready to stop dabbling and start crushing it, if you're ready to write and ignite your business, your empathy, your bank account, your personal life, then it's time you took the Write and Ignite challenge. This is the next step in your journey, and I want to help you be a part of it. Welcome to the posse. In fact, I'm going to add that. This is the next step of your journey, and I want to be a part of it with you. Welcome to the posse. I'm happy as hell that you're here, Alex. Did we not do the same thing? Did we not say, hey, I'm giving out all this free stuff? I'm trying to make things good for you. But we had like 20 options a second ago. Am I taking the Write or Ignite challenge? Am I doing only inbox? Am I downloading your checklisty thingy? No, I can't do that. I need to focus, Alex. I need to focus. And I need my subject line to agree with the top thing. That's the big stuff. Good things, just slight little tweaks. Excellent writing, Alex. Just a tiny little bit. Just a wee bit of douche for your already slightly douchey writing style. All right. The short will become long. Take one of your emails from yesterday and make it longer. I'll be right back. And then we'll do it. I am here. Let's do it. Okay. Yesterday's thing. Do I want to save this? No, not really. It's fine. All right. We're going to go long Mayflower this time, baby. The long Mayflower email. We're going to use this email to go for a long time, right? So we're going to go back up. We're going to go to our Ask These Questions and kind of things that I was doing earlier, right? I'm going to open this on my other screen, but for you, I'm going to go ahead and put it side by side here. All right, so we're going to ask these questions. Can I add an example or an analogy? They get the bad rap this day, all this. Expand. I'm just going to highlight that. I'm going to put that in light pink. Why light pink? I don't know. I need to... I'm just going to make a note here that I need to put a WIFM in here. Because as this gets longer, anything that looks like a WIFM is going to be way further down. What's in it for me? Okay. They're searching for a better life. They recognize an example or an analogy. They were they're searching for a better life. Example. They recognized the failures of the Church of England. What were they? They were willing to follow a corrupt church, so they built something better. What did they do? And then the ending, which will likely change a little bit, right? So now, instead of watch the video, right? This is a whole thing. I want my call to action is going to be sign contract for 6 months of delivery in NYC. Only 30 client slots available. Okay, so this is going to expand out a lot, right? And I've already just done number one. Can I add an example or an analogy? Let's go in here. What am I going to say? What else do they think? Why is that bad? So I'm going to hit on kind of like a pro-America angle there, where it's like, why are we always hating on the Pilgrims? They're such nice people. But really, they were in search of a better life. What did they do? What struggles did they face? They recognized the failures of the Church of England. What problems were there? How did they respond to them? What challenges did they face in doing this? Okay. Can I pivot to something similar? Sure. Expand. That also happened to famous person X. Right? We're going to go to famous person Y. That also happened to me. That happened to me. Get my Sean Spencer there. That happened to X. That happened to Y. That happened to me. Can I pivot to how this made me or someone else feel? Can I pivot to an effect this had? What effect this had? They moved here. They built something better. After the challenges, an effect they had. What effect did it have? Now you're going to see this all come together. Now, why did I choose there? Because it's a lot like the Pixar story formula. All right, the Pixar story formula. Let's check it out. Once upon a time, every day, until one day, because of that, until finally. All right, so that's our thing. We say, all right, so once upon a time, there's this. So we got to do a once upon a time. One day, right? Every day, one day. So now we've reorganized this. We're going to talk about the failures of the Church of England. We'll move up into there. One day this thing happened. Because of that. Yep. So because of that, they faced these problems. Because of that, they had to do this. Because of that, they had to do this. What challenges did they face? What effect did it have? So now that's our happily ever after. And now, until finally, this is our until finally. All right, so you see how all of those little examples actually helped us make a little story here, right? Now we're significantly longer with just that one thing. We're gonna have to fill all that in. Then we're gonna have this happen to X, Y, and Z. Can I pivot from data story or story to data, right? This happened to me. What effect did that have? Data. Happened to person X. Data. Happened to famous person Y. Data. That happened to me. Data. So that's going to go into, that's our story. Our story. Okay. That's our story. Can I pivot to something someone else said? I'm going to say social proof. What others are saying. This changed my life. We're not just disrupting. We're keeping small businesses afloat. Even in a world where data, small businesses are closing down. Hey, that's a pain point. We helped blank people not shut down. We helped blank people achieve X growth. So now we've pivoted from how it changed my outlook. It did benefits and resolve pain points. It's data. Can I pivot to my thought process on that? I just did that. Can I pivot to a bad outcome? Bad outcome. If no action. Adapt or die / Only 30 spots. And I don't feel like I need to go to highlight their worst fears or worst case scenario. I think I can just hit there. All right, sweet. So now we're gonna get it going, right? Every Thanksgiving, I'm reminded of the pilgrims. They get a bad rap these days. People think of them as adventurers, conquerors, and gold seekers. This has got to be the spot where I go into with them. Maybe not. I'm going to open up here. I'm going to say, Happy Thanksgiving. Every year I take today to reflect on everything I'm thankful for, and I take time to give back. And today I want to give you something very special. Pivot. So I said, my with him, I'm going to give you something very special. Give you, I'm going to make it more specific, and your business something very special. And now I'm going to do the but. I've been thinking a lot about the pilgrims these days. Recently. Been thinking a lot about the pilgrims recently. They get a bad rap these days. Okay, so that's my entrance. I now have a with him in the first couple things. Happy Thanksgiving. Every year, I take time to reflect on everything I'm thankful for, and I take time to give back. And today, I want to give you and your business something very special. I've been thinking about the pilgrims, a lot about the pilgrims recently. They get a bad rap these days. People think of them as adventurers, conquerors, gold seekers. Suddenly, we despite the fact that the first Thanksgiving was a triumph of neighborliness, a celebration of two peoples coming together over, I'm gonna hit there, diverse peoples coming together over food and family. Despite the fact that the first Thanksgiving was a triumph of neighborliness, I'm going to say despite the fact, again. So again, I'm hitting kind of a right-wing angle here. Despite the fact that it was a celebration of two diverse peoples coming together over food and family. Despite the fact that the pilgrims got along, were the best of friends with the Algonquin. No way! I got that. I can't spell ever, and I spelled Algonquin correctly. Wow. Listen to me. This is the triumph. Heck yeah, baby. Despite the fact that I can spell Algonquin correctly on the first try. All right. Despite the fact that the pilgrims were the best friends of the Algonquin people for almost, I actually don't know the stat here, so forgive me, almost 40 years. The pilgrims were, they were heroes. The pilgrims are maligned and hated, but they should be celebrated. They were risk takers. They were devout Christians. They shaped the country we know benefit from, and hopefully love today. Once upon a time, they were in, and wow, we've talked a lot about the pilgrims so far, but remember, you're getting something very special at the end of this email. So open loops, baby. Once upon a time, they were in, oh, do I have a ChatGPT open here? ChatGPT. Story of the pilgrims in England to Netherlands, I think, to USA, to the New World. Hit me with it. Yep, they're part of the separatists. They believed the Church of England was too corrupt to be reformed and wanted to practice Christianity in their own way. This was illegal at the time, facing persecution. The group decided to flee England. They went to the Netherlands. Yep. Temporary refuge in Leiden. They lived in peace for a decade. However, they faced a few challenges: economic hardship, cultural concerns, because they're learning Dutch instead of English, uncertain future. There's a looming threat of a war with Spain. So they went to the New World in about 1620 on the Mayflower and 2 other ships. Right? Nope. So in 1620, they went over on the Mayflower, just 100 of them, to the Virginia colony. That's where they're headed. Now they're in Massachusetts at Plymouth Rock. And they drew this up. The first winter was very brutal. Over half of them died. With help from local Americans, particularly Squanto, they learned how to grow corn and survive in the new environment. So all that I want. Gimme. Did I just get like a pro pilgrim story? Wow. While often idealized, their story is part of a larger complex history of colonization and Native American displacement. Oh, thanks, ChatGPT. At least you gave it to me. Yeah, look, they didn't get along with them forever because there was new leadership, and the new leadership made different decisions and attacked them. So it is what it is. All right, so once upon a time, the pilgrims were English separatists, believing the Church of England was too corrupt to be reformed and wanted to practice Christianity in their own way. So they escaped to the Netherlands for 10 years and experienced limited improvements. But it wasn't perfect. So they loaded up in a rickety wooden boat called the Mayflower. So 100 of them loaded up in a rickety wooden boat called the Mayflower and crossed the tumultuous Atlantic Sea, only to get blown off course and land in Massachusetts for one of the coldest winters in history. Over half of them died from disease, cold, and starvation in the first year. But it wasn't perfect. They faced economic hardship, looming war and a loss of their English heritage. So 100 of them loaded up in wooden boats, blah, 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 blah. The first winter was... Every day they did this, they recognized the failure, so they built something better. So I have to add that so they built something better thing. So they set off to build something better. 100 pilgrims loaded up in a rickety boat called the Mayflower and crossed the tumultuous Atlantic Sea, only to get blown off course and land in Massachusetts for one of the coldest winters in history. Over half of them died from disease, starvation, and cold in the first year. But thanks to the kindness and blank of the locals, like Squanto, they learned how to grow corn and survive in the new environment. And that's what we come together to celebrate each year. A triumph of the human experience. A triumph of exploration and risk-taking. Triumph of the human experience. A triumph of human kindness. Triumph of exploration and risk-taking. What effect did it have? Right? And because of their risks, because of their risk-taking, because of their devout risk-taking, the entire world was changed forever, for the better. Right? So now we're going to expand. See how we've already taken this to a whole thing? Thanks to the kindness, I'm just going to say the kindness of locals like Squanto. I wanted to say perseverance or something, like another positive trait. Nothing's coming to me right now, but it's fine. For the better. Again, don't get bogged down. Just keep writing. Just keep writing. For the better. And history is littered with people who, for the better. History is littered with people who have taken risks and to launch a new venture and changed the world because of it. I'm thinking of people like Steve Jobs. Give me a list of risk takers who have changed the world. We're gonna say business, technology, history. Take Steve Jobs, Christopher Columbus, the Wright brothers, Harriet Tubman rewrite their line to start with, I'm thinking of their name and story. Okay, see, sometimes I like ChatGPT for this sort of thing. I'm thinking of Steve Jobs, who got fired from the company he founded, came back when it was on the brink of collapse, and bet everything on a phone that would change the world. I'm thinking of Christopher Columbus, who'd set sail into uncharted waters with no guarantee he'd ever return, risking his life on a dream of a shortcut to Asia and accidentally reshaping the globe. So I'm thinking of all those people. Risk-taking isn't just at the heart of business, it's at the heart of the human experience. When we take risks and grow something new, and build something new, are building a better life for real people. I know that's true for us here at whatever this place is called. We looked around at the state of shipping in New York City and were appalled. We refused to live with the late deliveries, the damaged boxes, the ruined products, so we built something better. We built AI-powered drones that nail your delivery every time faster than ever. But we aren't just disrupting the industry, we're changing lives. Guy Fieri, don't know why, said his restaurant's food has never been more fresh. Bilbo Baggins, these are fake people, obviously Guy Fieri is a real person, but you know what I mean. Bilbo Baggins said the Shire is happier, is better than ever with dwarvish delicacies at his doorstep in hours, not weeks. John Travolta, don't know where I'm coming up with these. John Travolta told us his dance studio would struggled to get the right costumes delivered on time until now. And each one of them, plus 25 of our other clients, have all experienced a 22% or more growth in business in the last 6 months. All because of our autonomous deliveries. That is 28 businesses that have not only survived but grown. 28 small businesses that have not only survived but grown. In a world in a world where 187 small NYC businesses shutter every month, those few that adapt, that have taken the risk to adapt, have won. And that's real to us. So we invested all of our profits, every last drop, and we've doubled our capacity. We want, over the next 6 months, we want to do the same exact thing for 30 more clients. If your small business is ready for faster deliveries, better experiences, and 22+% growth, then lock in with us for the next 6 months. Let's go on an adventure together. Let's change the world. I'm not even gonna do the bad one. I've hyped it up enough. Let's keep it positive. Call to action. Let's go! All right. I'm having fun, y'all. Have fun when you're writing. All right. Let's read the original and let's read where we've gone, right? I think this is cool. I think this is really cool. So we've gone from, hey, watch the video. We've made an announcement. It can be 12 lines because all I'm asking you to do is sign up for this, or maybe give me your email address or whatever it is, like something kind of small. You're going to opt in. Maybe you're going to attend this training or whatever. No, we're suddenly like, hey, we've been spending a lot of time together. You like us. Let's do this all together. We did this crazy thing. And we were able to go much longer and get people to sign up for 6 months of an experience, of 6 months, 6-month contract. And we've naturally added in some resistance, right? We say that we can only handle 30 more people. There's only 30 more slots. So please take a risk with us and grab your spot while it's still available, right? All right. Happy Thanksgiving. Every Thanksgiving, I'm reminded of the Pilgrims. They get a bad rap these days. People think of them as adventurers, conquerors, gold seekers, but really they were in search of a better life. They recognized the failures of the Church of England. They were unwilling to follow a corrupt church, so they built something better, just like us. We refused to live with the late deliveries, the damaged boxes, the ruined products, so we built something better. See how we use AI-powered drones to nail your delivery every time. Watch the video. Nice short email. We get people in, but they're not buying. They're not going to buy it. We couldn't say, see how we did this with AI deliveries. We're doing it this well. We're delivering this often. We changed these many people, 22% increase. Sign up with us for 6 months. We could send them to a page where we talked about it and then maybe get them to buy a 6-month thing over there. In fact, that's probably what's on the page. We probably have a video sales letter and then the page is kind of pitching. We have 30 more spots and we basically tell this exact same story. Or you already have them. You don't have to worry about the click. You just get them to keep reading. And then on the next page, it's like literally like put in your phone number and we'll talk to you about what business looks like for you and how we can help you. So that's going to be the call to action on the next page. It's super easy because we've done all the selling in this long email. Let me read it to you live and you can see how it works. The long Mayflower email. Happy Thanksgiving. Subject line. Body. Happy Thanksgiving. Every year I take time to reflect on everything I'm thankful for and I take time to give back. And today I want to give you and your business something very special. I've been thinking a lot about the Pilgrims recently. They get a bad rap these days. People think of them as adventurers, conquerors, gold seekers, despite the fact that the first Thanksgiving was a triumph of neighborliness, despite Despite the fact that this was a celebration of two diverse peoples coming together over food and family, despite the fact that the Pilgrims were the best of friends of the Algonquin people for almost 40 years, the Pilgrims are maligned and hated. But they should be celebrated. They were risk takers. They were devout Christians. They shaped the country we know, benefit from, and hopefully love today. Once upon a time, the Pilgrims were English separatists, believing the Church of England was too corrupt to be reformed and wanted to practice Christianity in their own way. So they escaped to the Netherlands for 10 years and experienced limited improvements. But it wasn't perfect. They faced economic hardship, looming war, and a loss of their English heritage. So they set off to build something better. 100 pilgrims loaded up in a rickety wooden boat called the Mayflower and crossed the tumultuous Atlantic Sea, only to get blown off course and land in Massachusetts for one of the coldest winters in history. The tumultuous, I'm going to say the fearsome. Nice English word. Sometimes I like to use my Latin words, but it's bad. Don't do it. They crossed the fearsome Atlantic Sea, only to get blown off course and land in Massachusetts for one of the coldest winters in history. Over half of them died from disease, cold, and starvation in the first year, but thanks to the kindness of the locals like Squanto, they learned how to grow corn and survive in the new environment. And that's what we come together to celebrate each year. A triumph of the human experience, a triumph of human kindness, a triumph of exploration and risk-taking. And because of their devout risk-taking, I don't know. I'd probably change that word choice there, but we're gonna keep moving on. And because of their devout risk taking, the entire world was changed forever for the better. And history is littered with people who've taken risks to launch a new venture and change the world because of it. I'm thinking of Steve Jobs, who got fired from the company he founded, came back when it was on the brink of collapse, and bet everything on a phone that would change the world. I'm thinking of Christopher Columbus, who set sail into uncharted waters with no guarantee he'd ever return, risking his life on a dream of a shortcut to Asia and accidentally reshaping the globe. I'm thinking of the Wright brothers, who risked their lives and savings chasing the impossible ideas that humans could fly, and proved it on a cold morning in Kitty Hawk. I'm thinking of Harriet Tubman, who escaped slavery, then went back again and again, risking her life each time to lead others to freedom through the Underground Railroad. Risk-taking isn't just the heart of business, it's at the heart of the human experience. When we take risks and build something new, we are building a better life for real people. And I know that's true for us here at Drone Delivery, whatever it is. We look around at the state of shipping at New York City and we're appalled. We refuse to live with the late deliveries, the damaged boxes, the ruined products, so we built something better. We built AI-powered drones to nail your delivery every time faster than ever. But we aren't just disrupting the industry, we're changing lives. Guy Fieri said that his restaurant's food has never been more fresh. Bilbo Baggins said that the Shire is better than ever, with dwarvish delicacies at his doorstep in hours, not minutes. Dwarvish delicacies at his doorstep. Wow, that's some nice alliteration, if I do say so myself. John Travolta told us that his dance studio struggled to get the right costumes delivered on time until now, and each one of them, plus 25 of our other clients, have all experienced a 22% or more growth in their business in the last 6 months. Because of our autonomous deliveries, that is 28 small businesses that have not only survived, but grown. In a world where 187 small New York City businesses shutter every month, those few that have taken the risk to adapt have won. And that's real to us. So we invested all of our profits, every last drop, and we've doubled our capacity. Over the 6 months, we're going to do the exact same thing for 30 more clients. If your small business is ready for faster deliveries, better experiences, and 22% growth, then lock in with us for the next month. Let's go on an adventure together. Let's change the world. Let's go. That's a fun one, right? That's a fun one. That's a nice email. I sold something much bigger on the back end, a 6-month contract. Yeah, they're going to talk to them on the next page, but that's huge, man. That's huge. That's a much bigger thing. And they know that they're being asked to sign up for 6 months. It's more like a qualification call that we're signing them up for on the other side. So I think you can see the power of that. And we put in some open loops. We asked some questions so that we could kind of expand it, add more details, really get them kind of emotionally invested in the end result. We kept focused on one reader, one idea, one offer, one action we wanted them to take. At the end, they got to do it. Remember all these things when you go and do it for yourself. And yes, in fact, it is your turn to do this. You need to rewrite your own short email from last week. Plus, like I just did, plus you're going to do news hacking. So you're going to imagine you're selling custom furniture or monthly book subscription service. Look at the news this week, like exactly what's going on, not when I'm recording this, but in your life right now. Look at the news and find a topical subject that you can talk about, like, I don't know, Thanksgiving or the Pilgrims or whatever it might be, and then connect that to your furniture book subscription business. You have to connect those things, make it something relevant, and tie it together. Practice that, right? And then finally, you're going to do to be or not to be. You're going to read and take inspiration from Hamlet's to be or not to be speech. Do I want to do this or do I not want to do this? Do I want to help people or do I not? But I finally decided that I'm not just disrupting things, I'm changing lives. And that's why I'm still doing this, right? So ultimately, your conclusion, if you're trying to sell something and you're actually sending an email and not announcing that you're quitting, like PewDiePie, then you've probably chosen to do it. So use that rhetorical style from Hamlet's to be or not to be. Look it up, copy it, put it into your email or into your long email. So I should expect those 3 from you. At me, send them to me. It should be cool. I'd love to read them. Thank you very much. And as promised, next week, not just the short emails, not just the long emails, but we're sorting people into different groups based on their interests. We're saying, are you ready to buy or are you not? Are you more interested in this or are you more interested in this thing? And then we're going to actually warm them up, get them exposed to us, have that frequency, have that duration, have that intensity over a period of time. And then we're going to pitch them over a period of weeks, not 100 or 1,000 words, right? And with that, you're going to be able to sell bigger things. You're going to be able to keep your customers happier and buying from you for longer and longer. That's the real goal. That's the real benefit. I'm going to see you tomorrow for just that. See ya.